All right. Man, I had some technical difficulties getting this live together, but we are good. Give me about like 2 minutes. We're gonna get this going. While you guys are coming in, please let me know in the poll what you guys think. Should Terence Crawford fight Bakhram? Still coming off the high of that crazy performance Saturday, so. Give me about 2 more minutes, get people coming in. Full Tim Tszyu fight from yesterday is on my channel. Home boxing out here, hustling, bro. It's also on the PBC channel, man. Give me 1 more minute. We should start this live on a nice chill Sunday. Mic check, mic check, mic check. All right. What up, everybody in the chat? Let me make sure everything's popping in here. I think I got some technical difficulties. Let me make sure everything's working all smooth in my chat. What's going on, Zero Dawn? Let's see. Chat. Where we go with this? Bop, bop, bop. Where's my chat at? Where's my chat? The simple answer to the question and title is yes. Audio is clear. What's up, everybody? I'm doing a little bit of tweaking. I don't know what's going on over here. Let's see. Where's my beautiful chat? Usually my chat be on the right side. Okay, we're gonna have a little ugly stream a little bit. I'm gonna switch to this view right now while I work on that. All right, welcome everybody. It's Ron Goodall over here at FightHype. We had to do a nice Sunday show. Bakhram essentially pretty much came in and destroyed the stream, it looks like. He came in here and punched everything up, so. But it's all good. Everything's fitting for today's Sunday show. I had to play the Zangief theme. I'm a huge fighting game nerd, and I don't know if you guys know, but if you guys ever had a chance to play some Street Fighter, right? Everybody's familiar with this guy right here, all right? Everybody at some point has played Street Fighter, unless you like born like, I don't know, 2020 or 2015. But everyone's played Street Fighter, right? If you don't know the theme, this is Zangief, the Russian guy, right? Everybody hates this dude because he's a grappler. He rolls up on you, constantly puts pressure, and it's only fitting we got the boxer, Balrog, over here. Just puts constant pressure on you, grabs you, and does massive amount of damage. That's pretty much what's Tim Tszyu. Tim Tszyu fought the Russian of yesterday and got destroyed. So had to give my bag a little bit of Street Fighter. And now we got to ask ourselves, this guy who has one of the missing pieces of the Thanos glove, the undisputed at 154, does Terence Crawford, should he fight Bakhram after that performance if he does not get the Canelo fight, all right? So I have a call-in show set up. Pretty much, I'm going to give my takes, kind of recap a little bit. My boy in here said Bud is M. Bison. Okay. I'm Tekken mostly. I'm a big Tekken. Yeah, I love the SM theme. Crawford should fight Charlotte, Fedor, or Laura. So, ultimately, at the end of the day, what we saw was what many people felt was an upset, right? Tim Tszyu got dropped multiple times, got stopped in the third round. Tim Tszyu was supposed to be like the big bad wolf, the boogeyman, the guy who wants all the smoke. Came from Australia. This was supposed to be his redemption fight, as in, okay, I lost to Fedor based off the cut. Very close decision, but I deserve to be a world champion. I should be into these big fights, fighting the Spences, the Crawfords, the known names in the division. And he fell short. And he fell a lot. That's pretty much what happened. Told the story. And Bakhram came over, relatively quiet, unknown. Resume doesn't really speak high volumes. But we all know what we saw. We saw an absolute killer. Scary guy. Taller than Tim Tszyu, punches harder than Tim Tszyu, better chin than Tim Tszyu potentially. Like, this dude looks like a vicious problem at 154 against anybody. So, ultimately, the man Terence just had his birthday. Turned about 37. Does a man who started his career around 135 dare to fight Bakhram at 154 for what? A title? Does Terence fight him for another title? Does he? My man said we saw Better Beef Jr. in there. Tim Tszyu looked like a little kid fighting a grown man, Mark D says. Yep. Bakhram versus Virgil Ortiz. Winner gets Crawford. So, does Terence, who worked so hard for his illustrious career, not saying, granted, he's a fighter, not saying he's ducking the smoke, right? Not saying that he wouldn't as a competitor, especially if people believe that he can't. But does he, what his illustrious amount of collection of belts hanging in his house, does this belt matter more than monetary value in his career? Generational wealth. He's in the position of asking for a Canelo fight, asking for a Conor McGregor, maybe boxing crossover fight. Have to do MMA too. He's kind of in that stage where he can make a lot of money. Does Bakhram bring a lot of money? It didn't look like it at that night. Did his stakes and did his stock go up? Absolutely. But how much did it go up for Terence to go over there and try to fight for his belt? Me personally, I'll get my... I don't think Terence fights him. Not because he's scared. And should he fight him as a hardcore boxing fan? We got probably 3 names that Terence could probably fight as a hardcore boxing name. Hardcore, right? We removed the Canelo sweepstakes, away. One would be ultimately Fedor, right? I think there's a story there. If Spence beats Fedor, he can do a rematch. And Fedor beats Spence, the guy that Crawford just beat. There's already kind of like fans are familiar with the Fedor story if he beats Spence, and they tie in who did better. The other option he could probably do that a lot of fight fans will want to see is Jaron Ennis. All right, a lot of people want Jaron Ennis, but he multiple times said he would not want to fight him. Not because he's scared. Once again, just chasing bigger and better things. I think a Fedor fight is kind of on his radar. But for me, Fedor, Boots, and Charlo. Those are probably the 3 fights that I would prefer over Bakhram, that I want to see. A lot of people's called Tim, fundamentally flawed. Fedor is the guy who already beat Tim first. Not in that type of devastating fashion, but he took his O. And if he's set up for Spence, I think the Fedor fight's going to be a lot bigger. And I would love to see Bud fight Fedor in like a Bruce Lee game of death situation. But if he doesn't get any of those fights, he doesn't do any of those fights, and he still wants to fight, then bring on Bakhram. I think Bakhram should be at least entertained, at least thought about as a potential opponent. Not at the top of his list, but it should be floating there. And I know that he was watching the fight simply off the fact that he was tweeting a lot about it. All right, so if you guys didn't see, I'm going to pull up Terence's tweets, and I'm going to read some of the chat. Let's see, Terence, Crawford. This is what Terence was talking about. Lara, Charlo, or this guy. Okay, Fair Notice says, all right, he likes Lara, Charlo, this guy. Lara's at 160. I think you should fight at 160 champion if you really want to fight Canelo. Okay, so everyone's saying, yeah, go up to 160 before he even considers for Canelo. Ain't no other better be chill. Arthur just fought a top pound for pound fighter, Bivol. So, we can slow down on the Bakhram better beef comparison. But I get it. Big, strong, tough Russian with bricks in his hands who didn't really necessarily wind up his punches to do the damage. I could see the comparison. But, Arthur was doing this to world champions and contenders back to back to back. So this is the first one. If Bakhram can continue that type of streak, then I can see that. Crawford won't fight anyone unless it's Canelo. Crawford wants the last big payday and ass whooping. There's too many killers for Crawford. Brother's too scared. Norm says yes. Tim is basic cable for real. Let's not overrate Bach. All right, let me go to my screen capture real quick. We're going to post this up. This is what Terence was saying. And I'm going to get the live call-in set up. So if you guys want to engage, call in, chat, I'll post a link in a few minutes. Let's see. So I'm going to go from the beginning when Terence was actually... that's the TL. All right. So this is the first tweet of night that Terence was saying. Tim better change up that game plan and start moving his head coming in. So already, he noticed a technical flaw, a defensive flaw, and already we know that Terence does a lot of feints, a lot of head movement. So Terence picked up real quick that Tim was not fighting intelligently against Bakhram. Terence said, told y'all, essentially kind of saying he didn't move his head. Then he doubled down and says he's too strong for Tim. It's over for Tim. His legs are gone. Giving Tim time is crazy. So this is when the doctor came in. Terence is now asking for the fight to be stopped. Tim thought he had an easy one, took this dude lightly, and was worried about other fighters. Essentially, what all fighters say, and you hear Terence say it all the time, I'm focused on this fight. Not worrying about other fights. I'm focusing on this fight. Talk about this fight. I'm not thinking about anything else. Tim did vocalize about a lot of fighters and a lot of future potential fights, like many fighters would say. Terence kind of pretty much said that he wasn't paying attention. He did not take this guy as a threat. I can't speak on that. Maybe he did. It's a world champion, but Terence saw right through it and is claiming that, hey, thought he had an easy one. So Terence also, his last tweet, this is why you can't listen to these fans. They don't know boxing at all. Just because you never heard of a fighter doesn't mean he's a bum. Now everyone is high on Murtazaliev. Y'all need to stop downing fighters just because y'all don't pay attention to them. Which has kind of been like Terence's career, which a lot of opponents he's faced wasn't the highly promoted, well-known fighters. He's fought a lot of Eastern European guys like Madrimov and Postal and Mean Machine. So he's pretty aware of what's out there on that side. So I don't know how much he really knows about Bakhram. I'm not going to sit here and say I knew a lot about Bakhram. And for a lot of people in the chat, probably didn't really know a lot about Bakhram. You know, Bakhram's resume didn't really scream, I must watch him based off his opponents. So, but neither here or there. The title states, should Terence fight this guy, all right? I don't know why this part of the chat isn't working, So let's see what you guys think right before I put the call-in segments in. I think it's too early to fight Terence. Needs to prove themselves more. Crawford's not taking that fight. Go for it, Crawford. PBC put a ragtag show on. Bakhram fights Bakhram. Turkey will be involved. Feel like Turkey would offer a big ticket to Crawford if Bakhram beats Virgil Ortiz. So we're pretty much saying that we need to match make Bakhram for Terence Crawford. Terence shouldn't fight this guy right away. Pretty much it looks like some of you guys are saying. He beat Tim Tszyu and y'all talking about him fighting Crawford. What the fuck? So a lot of people right now aren't believing that this guy could beat Terence. But the question is, should Terence go fight him for the belt? Like, should Terence take this opportunity? It's not the fact that you guys think Terence would lose or Bakhram beats him, right? I had a previous poll before the stream went down, and there was a lot of people that actually said they wanted Terence to take this fight. And right now, if you look at the poll, just for about 32 minutes, 59 people already voted in. 73% says yes, Terence should fight Bakhram next. All right. Tim Tszyu's problem is his head movement. It says Terence would be exposed right here. Tim is straight a head guy. Would like to see Bakhram gets a boxer like Charlo or Lubin. So what's really interesting is that if you guys take the time to look at the boxing rankings, right? And I go to box.live, all right? Box.live is a pretty easy, straightforward website that I go to. I'm not sponsoring anything. I just personally like the rankings, boxing rankings. They have all the sanctioning bodies lined up for you to conveniently see who's next in charge. If you look right here, the IBF, right? Bakhram. Someone mentioned Erickson Lubin right there. Well, look who it is. Tim was number 4. Lubin is number 3. These two are vacant. I don't know why they just don't just move these guys up and just call it a day. Lubin's going to be the mandatory challenger for Bakhram. So we will probably see this fight. Lubin did attend the fight. Lubin said he wanted a fight. And he actually said he wanted to make the fight prior to Tim getting the fight. So Lubin would be another great style matchup. The only thing about Lubin that people will criticize, and I know the takeaway that people will always say about Lubin is that Lubin gets hurt, tends to be chinny. So does that add to Bakhram's stake of being a true puncher if he knocks Lubin out or destroys Lubin similar like Tim? The one thing that Lubin does do, opposed to Tim, is he's a boxer. He can move. He can switch it up. He can pose certain problems when that comes to that lateral movement. But at the end of the day, I think Bakhram needs more than a Lubin and a Tim Tszyu to get ready for a Terence Crawford. So Tito says, sounds good, but sad to say Crawford is looking for a retirement fight. I still think Charlie would probably beat Crawford. Zero Dawn says, it is a good point. If Terence goes for unification and then fights Canelo, it seems like this could make more sense, actually. Tim was the mandatory. Lubin can only hope. I mean, was Tim the mandatory? Tim Tszyu mandatory. Bakhram, Tim Tszyu mandatory fight ordered. Okay, 100% right. So, because Tim was the mandatory, Bakhram can do a voluntary. But then, you know, IBF always enforces their rules. So, Lubin will be the next mandatory when it gets called. But as in right now, everyone's talking about Bakhram. Nobody knew about Bakhram. Dude's a hard-hitting punching machine, and Tim couldn't get away from that left hook. Big Supreme says stopping Tim Tszyu is a very big deal. I mean, got to think about it. Fedor had him cut and took him 12 in a very close fight. Bloody fight. Now, Terence claims that Tim took Bakhram very lightly. And because of that, stylistically, he just kind of walked in. He didn't hold. He didn't clinch. He didn't do any of that stuff. And when you get hurt, especially by a puncher, you do everything you can to prevent them from getting a follow-up shot. I mean, in any case, you're hurt, but especially a puncher. Tim, what did he do? He just tried to swing and fight back. So, Reese says 100%. Bud should fight Bakhram. I want to see the fight first half of 2025. Now, we already know Terence is all about that dollar bill. So, does Bakhram actually bring money to Terence? You know? And I mean that in a way where if he's not a big draw, right? Does someone get behind him like Turkey did Madrimov and put a lot of money? Because a lot of people will say the same thing about Madrimov. Madrimov's not a big name, a big draw. I never heard of him. Foreign, Eastern European. Why should we watch it? So Bakhram's kind of the same situation. You know, why should we watch it? You know, but Terence fought Madrimov. So what's the excuse? Turkey. Turkey threw a lot of money behind it, right? I was there. They had Eminem. They tried to do the stadium. I know Terence was probably paid handsomely. Wouldn't know firsthand, but there was money dumped heavily in there. They were giving away a car and shit. So I think the only way the Bakhram-Terence fight would happen is if there's a lot of money behind Bakhram. And I just don't think Terence financially and his point of his career should take a fight like that. Only because his ultimate goal now is to make the biggest fights. He's already accomplished the titles. He already did that. So the leading candidates in his division when it comes to a potential big name at 154, I think Fedor might be the sexier name if Fedor can get the Spence fight. Now the hardcore fans, like myself, we saw the comparison. Fedor won 12. Bakhram took him out in 3. Destroyed him. All right? Granted, there's sloppy seconds. You know, people feel like Tim might have not been the same. But we also have Virgil Ortiz in there, right? WBC interim world title. That could be a big fight for Terence too. Financially, Turkey was trying to work that deal out with De La Hoya. Once again, that's only if Terence wants to fight. We know Virgil wants to fight. We know Fedor was given an opportunity for voluntary opposed to fighting Terence. They were supposed to go to purse bids, right? Because he is a WBO interim title while he holds the WBA. So in the meantime, Terence should not be just sitting around being inactive. He should get something. Bakhram could either be a guy who collects the belt so they can be undisputed for the winner of the Fedor and Spence fight, or this could be a huge mistake. This could be a huge mistake. So Bakhram got to beat someone more credible. This is why Terence won't fight Boots. Well, I mean, when you look at the names that Boots beat and the names Bakhram beat, I would say Bakhram has a better, a better win, essentially, right? A better opponent. So, but they both do. If Tim Tszyu is credible, that's an incredibly impressive win. Now, let's see, Tim's taking pictures, laughing, going to the car shows, and more Tyler's in the gym doing roll work and training. This division is prime ready for a Super 6 tournament. Yeah, well, if we ever get one of those. Now, I'm gonna set up the call in. I'm gonna throw the stream link in the chat. Granted, at any given time, let me get this up. If you guys want to join in, we chat, kind of debate. You guys give me your takes. Let me get this right here. All right, cool. And I'm gonna drop this right there. Boom. Invite, copy. What's up, Banks? All right, and I'm gonna pin this joint right here. All right. So at any point, You guys are more than welcome to jump in. We'll do a nice little chat calling. I'll get you guys in. You can use your phone. You can use your laptop. Pretty much you just have to unmute your mic, unmute your camera. I'll bring you guys one by one, and then we'll chat. So the first guy already got in here, man. That's what's up. Quick, fast, easy. Let's see. Pop this up right there. Let me throw. Hold on. Big Supreme, where you go, man? Where you go? I just saw Big Supreme jump in. All right, like I said, I'll bring you guys one by one. We can chat. You guys can give me your breakdowns, your thoughts. Let's see. Crawford can arguably make himself the greatest fighter of all time. Oh, there we go. Big Supreme.
What's
All
up?
right,
What's up,
Big.
buddy?
What's up?
I ain't gonna keep your time too long. I got some things to do. But one thing I did notice, right? So a lot of people say that background is unknown. He's obviously a unknown Eastern European fighter out of Russia, but he was signed to Kathy Duda. From what I know, he took $2 million in step aside money. I guess because Charlo was trying to become undisputed at 154. I think at one point Charlo even like threatened to retire if they forced the background fight. So I guess the IBF and the PBC they allowed him to pursue Castano and Tony Harrison and to consolidate all the belts and become undisputed. Now I knew about Bakhram because he was signed to Kathy Duda and I believe he was like a protege of Kovalev. So he's a very very good fighter. And then I went to his Instagram. He's doing road work. He's training. He's in the gym. He's getting sparring with Terrell Goucher, which to me was very eye opening because Terrell Goucher dropped Tim Tszyu in their fight. So I felt like he had like a general idea of his tendencies and his defensive lapses and stuff like that. I picked him to actually beat Tim Tszyu. I didn't think he was gonna do it in such a devastating fashion. I actually thought he would stop him, maybe a little later, but he's just very heavy handed, man. And then one thing I didn't like was a lot of people wrote Bakhram off because of the Jack Koke fight. To my knowledge, when he fought Jack Koke, he was actually fasting that week. I believe it was Ramadan. I think Ramadan started that week, so he wanted to pull out of the fight. But Jack Koke's promoter was like, "Look, if you pull out of the fight, we're gonna have to reschedule it. It might not happen." So he said, "Look, I'm just gonna take the fight." And there's a guy named Eldar Boxing on Twitter and he has a YouTube page. He actually spoke to Bakhram because he's based out of California. He does a lot of sparring over there. And he asked him like, "Yo, you look kind of flat in that fight. Was it because you was fasting for Ramadan?" He said, "Yeah. With Ramadan, they don't eat till like after dark and stuff like that. So I think that's why he was so flat in that fight." So I think Tim Tszyu was like, "Oh, all right." He looked at the fight, saw that he was a little winded. He was slapping on his punches a little bit. He was like, "Oh, I probably could take this dude." So I went to his Instagram, like I said, like, he's doing car shows, he's meeting up with his father, they're having drinks, they're overlooking background, talking about Virgil Ortiz and getting the Fedora rematch and Spence and fighting Canelo. Like, I just felt like whenever a fighter's in that mindset of overlooking the fighter, I don't think it's a good result for them. They're not training as hard as they possibly can. They're not doing the time in the gym. So I just felt like he would beat him, and I felt like the odds was too wide. Like they had Bakhram as a plus 1100 for the KO, and I just thought that was weird because this guy had 17 knockouts out of 22 fights, and he's a big puncher. So I don't. He has a more than a puncher's chance that the odds has suggested. If the odds was like a plus 500, plus 600, my antennas probably wouldn't have went up. But I definitely was like, I don't know about this fight. And I told a couple of my guys, look, if you have $50, $75, just throw it on the KO because I felt like if it went to a decision, it probably would have went to Tim Tszyu, being that it was on his promoter's platform. As we seen it with the fight before that with Mateo, like he got dropped 3 times and they still somehow gave him a draw. So I said, look, if it goes to decision, I think it's gonna go to Tim Tszyu. So my bet was no distance or take Bakhram by KO, and he did it. And I was like, damn, maybe he was right. He was fasting the Koke fight because Koke is like 39 years old. he fought some good fighters. You know, he fought Derek Manchenko, he fought Boo Boo. So I'm like, he's durable. He's never been stopped before, so it made sense that he kind of like struggled with him. But just going through his Instagram page, going through his Twitter, seeing him training, he's getting good sparring. I'm like, I think upset is gonna happen, and it happened.
So the ultimate question is, should Terence fight him next if the Canelo fight doesn't happen?
One, I don't think Terence is gonna get the Canelo fight because I feel like Canelo's in a point in his career where it's like he's damn if he do, damn if he doesn't. I think he has a lot of people at 168 he could fight. Like for example, Diego Pacheco. He just got a good win against Lecky. I think like he's like the number one mandatory in one of the sanctioned bodies. I think that fight probably happens next. You know, he has a good relationship with Eddie Hearns. He's an Eddie Hearns fighter. I think that's probably the next fight to happen. I don't think I just don't see him getting a Canelo fight. Now, if I was Crawford, I probably would stay away from Bakhram, not because it's a fight that I think he can't win. I just don't think he's gonna get the money that he wants. I think the best fight for him right now will be Fundora or Virgil Ortiz. I think that would make the most financial sense for him. Or, like someone said in the comment section, Laura's not a big 160 pounder. They like the same age. He could go up there, get a belt, and become a five division champion. That'll strengthen his resume. I think he should like look towards those kind of fights. Someone like Jesus Ramos, someone like Bakhram, Boots. I think they're like a little too dangerous for Crawford at this point in his career, and it's not gonna make no financial sense. Virgil is a big name. They could fight in Texas. I think it'll do a good live gate, good pay per view numbers. I think he should take that fight in my opinion.
What do you think? Who should Bakhram fight then? Because Lubin was
Bakhram,
there.
I think
Mm-hmm.
Bakhram should fight someone like Jesus Ramos. I don't know how highly ranked Jesus is in IBF, but like you said, maybe Lubin might be the next fight for him. Honestly, I think they'll probably order that because they was gonna order the Tim Tszyu fight. You know, I guess Lubin got overlooked and bypassed. I think Lubin will probably get his title shot sometime next year against Bakhram. Um, the guy was saying that Tim Tszyu wasn't a good win. I think that's a very, very impressive win. I like a lot of people was high on Tim Tszyu. He was being caught by Turkey. He even was mentioned about possibly being a future fight for Canelo. You know, his father's a big name, Hall of Famer. His brother's making noise. I just think Tim Tszyu was a very, very big name, and I just think that anybody diminishing that, I feel like they don't know boxing, bro. I just feel like the flaws that he had defensively that I seen in the Goucher fight that he got dropped. He got dropped against a guy named Wade Ryan in Australia. If you know who Wade Ryan is, he got like 20 wins, 10 losses. I saw that fight. I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Always felt like when he stepped up in competition, it's like a lot of his fighters. You look at Tony Harrison, you look at Brian Mendoza, you look at Terrell Goucher. Not to be funny, like they're like slick boxers. They don't press the action. They're not coming forward. They're not aggressive. And I told my mans yesterday, look, if they get in the ring and Murtazaliev doesn't take a step back, I think Tim Tszyu's in trouble. In the first round, he landed something big on Murtazaliev, and Murtazaliev just looked at him and kept coming forward. I said, I think he's in trouble, bro. And then he knocked him down in the second round. So I just felt like Tim Tszyu, in my opinion, I just think it was good matchmaking. I think he was fighting guys that benefited his attributes a little bit. Someone like Bakhram was strong, big, 74-inch arm reach. He got the height. He has the hand speed. I just thought it was a bad matchup for him, honestly.
I think my last question is, what does Tim Tszyu do next? Because he went from Pandora to Backroom. Like he can't go back to another tough fight like that.
I think he's going to go back to the Australian domestic level. He's going to get a couple of tune-ups. For me, I think this was an eye opener for him. Maybe he realizes, damn, I need to, take this. Like boxing, like they say, you can't play boxing. Like I was saying, like what Hagler said, it's hard to do road work when you're wearing silk pajamas and you're laying on satin sheets. It's hard to get up and get the motivation. I look at the press conference. He got the Rolex on. He's shouting his five out in the crowd. I just feel like he just wasn't into the fight. So I felt like guys like Beterbiev and Tank and Inoue and Canelo, Crawford, like these guys that work hard despite being at the highest levels of the sport, I think they deserve more credit than they get from the fans. And I felt like a lot of times when dudes are unknown, like a Madrimov, I predicted Madrimov would go the distance. I thought he would give Bud trouble, and he did. Because when these guys, when you look at these unknown guys, like there's not a lot of film on them, and you don't really know too much. You could just hear about the sparring stories, or you could see them training on Instagram or Twitter. You don't really know. But if you look at a Madrimov, who's a decorated amateur, his first fight was against Vladimir Hernandez. If you know who Vladimir Hernandez is, he upset Lorenzo Truck Simpson. That's the 168 pounder out of Calvin Ford's gym.
Yep,
That
and
was
J
his
Rock.
first professional fight, and he stopped him. And if you know Vladimir, he beat J Rock, he beat Lorenzo, he just beat this guy named Guido, who's a prospect. He beat this guy named Raul Garcia that's being trained with Bob Santos. Like, this is a serious dude, and Majamov stopped him in his first professional fight. Once I seen that, I'm like, all right, this dude is the real deal. So I feel like a lot of times people just get confused with their names, the notoriety, and they just say, you know what, this guy's the real deal. And I just felt like Tim Tszyu. I always felt like if he fought like a Bud or if he fought like a Boots, and I even thought Lubin probably would beat him too, because Lubin can punch, he can move, and I just felt like he just took Bakhram lightly, and he paid the price.
Can Lubin beat Bakhram? And would Bakhram get credit for beating Lubin? Because everyone calls Lubin chinny, can't take a punch. If Bakhram's this dude that punches hard, I mean, does he get the credit?
I think. Hold on, brother.
Are you good? That's actually not a fact.
Yep.
Yep, I got you.
I think he would get credit for it. Honestly, I think Lubin is another one where it's like he's a decorated amateur. He came up with Tank, Lamar Roach, like that generation. Like I feel like he's a very good fighter, but I feel like he was matched too aggressive too soon. Like I don't think he was ready for Charlo at the time when he fought Charlo. Fondora's a very tall, awkward southpaw. I think he wasn't ready for that fight neither. So if he fixed his defensive flaws, I like his chances against Murtazaliev because he's a big, strong dude himself. I don't think Murtazaliev has fought many southpaws, so I'm not sure. I would give him credit for it. Like if he was to wipe the floor with Lubin, I would give him complete credit for it.
Awesome. Well, appreciate it, Big Supreme. I got Boxel Atomico. I'm gonna bring him in real quick. Have
All right,
his
brother.
thoughts. But feel free to jump in anytime, man. Appreciate you being the first call today, man.
I appreciate you.
Salute to you.
What's up, man?
I'm calling from Mexico. I live in Mexico. I want to speak about that fight last night of
Absolutely.
Murtazaliev. I predicted an upset because I really study Murtazaliev, and I knew it was going to be a clash of punches, and I knew it. I felt it. That's why one month before I called it. It was gonna be an upset because I think most people don't know the Russian, and I study all his fights, not all the ones that I could see in the on YouTube, and I knew it was gonna be when I saw this because he has a better punch. He had when he lands a punch, if you get up, but I just knew, man. I knew it was gonna be an upset. That's all I want to say. But what I want to say about Team Sue, I think it was, um, there were too many bad decisions from his managers, and that's what I want to say too, because he was gonna fight Burger Ortiz. I thought it was a bad decision too, and when I saw he was gonna fight Murtazaliev, I saw definitely it's a bad decision too. And see, the proof is what happened yesterday. But he's a really good fighter, Team Su. I cannot take nothing away from him. But I think if he comes back, he should fight like I don't know, a lesser opponent. But I don't know what do you think that who's the next? Who do you think is gonna raise the hand to fight Murtazaliev? I don't think no one wants to fight him. Like I'm a raise my hand. I want to be next. I don't see no one doing that.
Well, Lubin was at the fight. and Lubin is the next highest ranked underneath that belt. So potentially it could be Erickson Lubin. What do you think about his chances against Bakram?
Um, he has he has. I don't think he has a chance, but he could last at least 2 more rounds because this guy's gonna get him because Mr. Taleb has boxing skills too. I seen him. He knows how to fight backwards too. But most people don't know it. Most people think that Tim Tszyu made a mistake, and that's the only answer they have for his loss. And no, I knew if Mr. Taleb he could move back too, and he could fight backwards too. But look, I just saw a style that he's gonna was gonna get the better end of the punch always on Mr. Saleh against Team Su. That's what I saw. That's what I predicted, and I have a small channel, and I predicted that it was gonna be an upset on Miami. But I think it's gonna be a good fight with Lubin, but I don't think at least 2 more rounds and he's gonna get KO too, Lubin.
Dang.
That's what I
Well,
think.
I mean, we need to take a chance to look at some atomic boxing. So, feel free to come here all the time and give us your
And
insight.
how about Mono Ramos?
Jesus Ramos?
Yeah, Mr. Saleh and Ramos. Will be a good fight, but I think Mr. Saleh is gonna knock him down. He's gonna get get
I think they're
KO.
both great fights. I think
Yes, they're a great fight, but I think Mono Ramos will give him a little bit better fight than Lubin. But even though Lubin beat Ramos, but I think the style of Mono Ramos because look, if you want to beat Monster Saleh, you have to have a really really great plan and go to the body always first body and then go to the head, first body and the head, body and head because you have to um, the power of Monster Saleh, you have to walk that power down and be less because if you're gonna go toe to toe with him only to the head, you're on the losing end of that fight for me.
so I got to ask you, Atomico. The headline says, "Should Terence Crawford fight Bakhram
Yes,
next?"
yes, yes. He should fight him. For me, yes, because but you know how Twitter goes. When somebody wants to fight, they always go, "Oh, I'm next. I'm here. I want you." But I don't think Terence Crawford's doing that. I think Terence Crawford's gonna go another way because I don't want to say he's scared, but he's just looking for another route because now everybody knows this Madrinov. No, everybody knows him, but um, I don't want to say he's scared, but I don't. But what I'm gonna tell you, he's not saying I'm next. That's the other thing, Crawford. He's not saying I'm next.
Do you think
That's what I
Bakhram is
feel.
the Do you think Bakhram's the best guy in the division after Terrence?
Mm, I don't. I don't want to say he's the best because now they know him. Now they know him. Now you could get a study how to fight him. So, but he's really good. He's really good. He doesn't care. He's um like an assassin. I don't care if you're a lion and I don't have no weapon. I'm still fight you. That's the mentality of Madrinov. So he doesn't have nothing to lose. I think everybody has something to lose. But what I'm saying that he has he's in a different mindset right now. He said, "Hey, who's next? I'm here. Who's gonna raise the hands? He's the one right now. He's the new lion in that division. That's what I think."
Now, Big Supreme put in the chat. He says he should pursue Madrimov versus Boyacek winner, the guy that fought Virgil Ortiz.
Yeah,
You like that fight?
yeah, but yeah, because there's a Bokachuk and Madrinov they're fighting, so that's why I didn't mention that because like they're fighting on the undercard of Tyson Fury and Usyk. Uh, I think um, it will be a great fight against any of those two guys will be a great fight. But if you're gonna see an action fight, it will be Bokashuk against Madrinov. That will be a head-on collision. That's how we call it in Mexico.
My last question is
Yes.
Virgil Ortiz. Where does he fit? Does he jump right into it? Should he take a break after that Boyacek fight?
Look, if there's one that could raise the hand first, and it could probably be an error, is Virgil Ortiz to say. And we have to see a reaction from Ortiz of this fighter. But if you tell me of all the boxers who want to raise the hand first, but like hiding the hand behind the cut like that is gonna be Virgil Ortiz. But he has a really good chance of beating him because but I don't want to say who's the favorite right now because I have to really study that fight. Because Virgil Ortiz always goes to the body and then goes up, so that's a good matchup for Bud. Uh, I cannot say who's gonna win right now on that fight. But if you ask me who's gonna raise the hand first, it's probably gonna be Virgil Ortiz. But it will be probably an error, but I don't know. But if you ask me who's gonna raise the hand first, it's probably Virgil Ortiz because he's not fighting right now. We don't know nothing of if he's fighting right now. I just saw in Texas he had in a school something a festival something like that yesterday. So that's what I think.
Awesome. Well, Boxio, you seem like you got a lot of boxing knowledge, so I definitely want you to come on here a lot more. You say you got a small, like an upcoming YouTube channel. Can you let everyone know a little bit
Yeah,
about
I
it?
have a small channel, a really small channel, but I like to talk about boxing in Spanish, but I know a little bit of English. I live in Mexicali, Mexico, and I try to study whatever I see of a boxer. So I love boxing since I was little. I practiced boxing. I got in the ring, and I, look, I was a hard hitter, so I know what I'm talking about. We at least mentality. If you want to be a winner in boxing, that's what I want to say. But you know, I love boxing. That's what I like,
And
and
we
I
can
like
follow you where at?
boxeo atómico in Spanish. That's how it sits there.
Awesome.
Boxeo atómico.
And my last question: who's your favorite fighter out right now? Who should we beat?
My favorite fighter is Canelo Alvarez, without a doubt. He's my favorite boxer because um, the way he fights, the he has a lot of money and he concentrates to fight and I take my head off of that because imagine if I had a little bit of money, I wouldn't even be on YouTube talking. I would be fishing and a jazz or whatever. And he's working. He's a hard worker, and I appreciate every hard worker in the world. That's what I like. So
Look,
and
the chat appreciates you coming in. So
thank you.
feel free to
It's
come
a
in
pleasure,
anytime we
Ron.
do the call-in show. Please call in, jump in. We'll
Sure,
bring you on.
sure. Thank you, Ron. Thank you very
Awesome.
much, and salute to the other chat in the chat. Thank you.
Awesome.
God bless.
Appreciate it, brother. Awesome. Look, I mean, look, there's two great calls already. My boy Boxio right there and Big Supreme setting the tone right away. So we won't do these lives too long. I know Sunday we got football, we got a whole bunch of things going on. But if you guys want to voice your opinion, should Terence Crawford fight? If Tim Tszyu made errors, if um, Murtazaliev is actually the truth. Like I learned a lot just from those two calls alone. Like I was educated a lot from that point. And I might know a little bit here and there. There's so much boxing to cover, but you guys both informed me a lot. So granted, the chat can always educate us, and I can return the favor with some of my knowledge. We're just a big community, and we're just big boxing guys. On a Sunday where everyone's watching football, we're talking about boxing because that was one of the big upsets, right? Huge knockout. Bakhram hit the scene. And now we got to ask, is one of the best fighters on planet Earth willing, or should he fight this guy? And everyone kind of says no, just like I'm saying. Not because he's scared, simply only the fact that he has a lot more opportunities. Even if he doesn't get the Canelo fight, there's a lot more lucrative money making fights that he can make in his career because he's already going to enter the Hall of Fame. He's already established 2-time undisputed in 2 different divisions, 4 weight class champion. I mean, he's set when it comes to solidifying himself. Now it's about making the best opportunity for you after you're done boxing, all the money, all the hard work you did. So, personally, I don't think he should. So, uh, Bud ain't messing with that. Let me switch my screens really quick. All right, there we go. So, like I started the stream early on, right? The whole Street Fighter vibe, the whole Street Fighter theme, right? This guy right here. Let's see. I'm just start calling him Zangief at this point. Everyone's played Street Fighter, so Muay Thai is Zangief to me. There's nothing you can convince me in this division that he's not the Zangief until someone actually keeps this dude off you. Like Fedor would have to box him. Fedor would have to box him. Terence would have to box him. Virgil will probably have to box him. Madrimov would have to box him. So everybody would have to box him. You know, he's not unbeatable, but Boxio said he can fight backwards. So who's gonna be the guy to push him back? I don't think anyone's gonna push him back at 154. I think everyone's gonna box him. Until then, he's the Zangief for the division, man. Every time I hear this song, I think of Tim Tszyu getting crushed, you know. But a lot of respect to Tim Tszyu because I think a lot of people took some of his overlooking Bakhram as also just pure confidence, right? There was this one thing, and I think he did recognize it was a tough fight, but I talked to Tim Tszyu about 2 weeks ago before the fight, and I asked him because Murtazaliev is
things good to go.
Man, I'm gonna butcher his name. Murtazaliev. I'm gonna say Bakhram. Bakhram is managed by Igas Klimas, and Igas, you got the Lomachenkos, the Usyks, the Klitschko, so this just adds more credence. And anytime you see him in the corner,
and Boyacek, and I know that you were pretty pumped up, pretty excited,
and then to be names, so it'll be a good fit.
So this was his response about the idea of just going to Bakhram right away.
You're when I see guys that are like managed by Samson Lukowitz or Igas Klimas, like these are they pick good talent. So in this sense, after you've had your your cut and it's healed up, what made you just not want to do the traditional I'm gonna tune up or I'm gonna get a feeler to make sure that everything's good to go?
No, because I know I'm good to go.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm good to go. When you're a Ferrari, you don't want to be racing against Toyota Corollas, right? But you want to be with the top boys anyway. So that's how you feel.
So I think there is respect that he had for him, but I think ultimately when it comes down to it, I think even if Tim was overlooking him and then decided, if we had a parallel world where Tim actually really trained for Bakhram, I think it might have not changed at all. I think it would have probably been still the same outcome looking at how they fight, Tim, very fast, twitch-like. He relies on his reflexes. A lot of fighters nowadays rely on athleticism and reflex, and Tim is very athletic, very quick. You can see in the Fedor fight, he pulls back and he likes to counter off of it. Footwork wasn't really necessarily his biggest asset in his, ability to get up there. And this is probably a little credence to a little bit what Keith Thurman was saying. Keith Thurman was a guy who was supposed to fight him, and he even came to the fight to be a commentator, and he had a lot to say about the performance. So I'll play a little snippet of it, and I'll get right back to the chat and discuss with you guys. And like I said, I put the StreamYard link in the chat. So at any point, if you want to just jump on here and talk, you know, you guys get priority first. Let me see. I can hop on around. So, let me play a little bit of this Keith Thurman interview, just a tiny bit, and so you can watch the rest. It's a pretty lengthy one. It's about 13 minutes that we got. Shout out to Kevin for getting it.
Kevin Garcia with FightHype. Keith, what do you think about Murtazaliev knocking out Tim Tszyu?
You know, I mean, look what the left hook did, man. You know, I was obviously confident when I signed the contract. I said there's nothing special in what Tim Tszyu brings to the table. Earlier this week, because I was on the analytical side earlier this week, I got to interview all the fighters, and, you know, Bakhram clearly said that him and his trainer said that there's nothing special about Tim Tszyu, and that Tim Tszyu is just cookie cutter made for Bakhram. And not only were they able to say that, but they were able to prove it, you know. I mean, I think Tim Tszyu, in the way that I thought he was approaching my fight, was overly confident, overly, you know, believing in himself. You know, it's fine to have skills, it's fine to have a will, but you have to have a strategy. You need to be able to make subtle adjustments in the ring and not just do one thing over and over and over again. You know, he was hurt. He was clearly hurt, and he tried to put himself right back into the fight instead of giving himself some time, strategically working behind the jab, trying to slow down the pace. There's a lot of things you could do to get into the later rounds, you know, of the fight. He obviously, the scorecards would never look good, so obviously after that 3 knockdowns, there's no way he was winning tonight without.
So great interview with Keith Thurman. We got a call in right now, so I'm gonna switch over to that. But yeah, check that out. We got that. Let me get this up. What's going on? I got you on. How do you say your name?
Oh man, I can hear you.
Hold on. Can you hear me?
Check again.
Oh, my bad. Can you hear me?
Hi.
Hey, what's going on? How do I say your name? I say Eudes.
Eudes.
Eudes? Okay. What's going on, man? What you think about the fight Saturday?
It was nice. Great fight. It was a great fight. I had already predicted that Murtazaliev was going to KO Tim Tszyu.
Yeah?
Yeah, I did. And, well, I was telling to my partners, my colleagues, when we analyze boxing and stuff. And we were saying that Tim Tszyu is a guy that he doesn't really box that much. He has not a great IQ, but he's a great power puncher. But so far, he hadn't faced a guy like Murtazaliev, big, strong, and coming forward, and he's a guy that takes punishment. And when you take away that power from Tim Tszyu, he's got no other weapons, right? So that's where he was already doomed, I think, before the fight.
What do you think about Terence Crawford? Should he face this heavy-handed punching Russian that just destroyed Tim Tszyu in 3 rounds?
Man, absolutely. I want to see that fight. Yeah, we want to see unifications, right? The best fighting the best.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, I believe that Terence Crawford has better chances than Fundora. He's got more IQ, more skills, and he's got power too. Just that Madrimov, he was too precautious, right?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't want to risk that much as he did in previous fights. So that's why Terence Crawford could not finish the fight by KO. But I think he's better than Fundora. And Fundora, I don't know if he can take that much punishment. I mean, I think Murtazaliev hits way harder than Mendoza, so I don't think Fundora could withstand one of those left hooks from Murtazaliev.
So, if Terence doesn't fight Bakhram, then who should Bakhram fight next?
And I don't know. There are good names there. I don't really know if Fundora and Terence Crawford will take the fight. This guy is he's freaking dangerous, man. But another good fight could be a nice welcome fight for Jaron Ennis, since everybody's avoiding him in 147.
Okay, so you want Jaron Ennis to come up and fight Bakhram? I mean, they're both the IBF champions, right? So maybe he goes
That's
up
right.
and asks.
Yeah, everybody's avoiding him, and they have been talking about going up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it would be a nice fight.
Who do you got in that fight? And be honest.
Man, man, that's a close fight because Jaron Ennis is very strong and he's very big too. I think he's above when it comes to size and strength. He's above many guys in 147. But it would be his first fight in 154, right? So I'd say 60-40 Murtazaliev.
Outside of the fight that Tim Tszyu just had back to back, he took Fedor, he took Bakhram. What does Tim Tszyu do next? Should he take a tune-up? Should he take a break? Like, what's next for Tim Tszyu?
Well, he's probably gonna take tune-up fights, maybe a couple. But the problem with these guys is they don't fight very often, and once they lose this way, the way Tszyu loses to Murtazaliev, they kind of get exposed the mistakes they make, and the other fighters take note. So I don't know, man. I don't see him fighting the big dangerous guys. Maybe um, Virgil Ortiz could be a good fight, uh, but I don't see him coming back to the top.
Hmm. So who do you think is the best guy at 154 if Terence, wants Canelo and then eventually leaves? Is Bakhram the best guy, you think, or you think it's too soon?
Well, well, we don't know yet because there is not a unified or undisputed champion, right? So
Hmm.
if they don't fight each other, we cannot know who is the best.
Who do you think is the best?
I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I'm between um, Terence and Murtazaliev, maybe.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I don't really. It's not that I don't like it. I just don't see Fundora at that level yet.
Hmm. Yeah, him and Tim went to war 12 rounds, a lot of blood, and Bakhram just came in and just destroyed Tim in 3 rounds.
Yeah, I don't want to say Tim Tszyu lost because of the blood, but I don't know. I think Fundora makes many mistakes that these guys will take advantage of. So he's a very large guy, but he still fights in close distance. So that's breakfast for guys like Terence Crawford or even Murtazaliev.
Hmm.
The first the first knockdown was a short left hook, right?
Yeah, with a lot of left hooks on top of that, but yeah, it was a short left hook.
Yeah. So I don't know. Really know if Fundora can make those adjustments to fight these guys. But I don't see him at that level.
Hmm. Well, my last question with you, because there's so many changes going on in boxing and all that stuff. What is the fight that you're the most excited about?
Mm, this year to happen or
Yeah, I guess there's probably not a lot of fights announced. I guess maybe whatever fights announced right now. Like, are you excited for Tank versus Lamont Roach?
mm, Team versus Tank versus Samon Roach. No, I'm I'm not excited about that fight. I think
Are you
he is
disappointed?
taking. No, it's disappointing. Why are you fighting a guy from 130 when you have plenty of fighters to fight in 135?
Hmm.
So no, I'm not excited about that fight. Let me see. No, I don't know this year, but I want to see Nakatani Inoue.
Yeah, that'd be a huge fight in Japan.
Yeah, I mean, well, Terence Crawford fighting the best guys around. I don't know if he's going to keep chasing Canelo. I don't want to see that fight.
Yeah, why is that?
No, it's a big jump, from 154 to 168. I think, if he really wants that fight, I think Murtazaliev would be a nice test because he's a big guy. When it's fight night, he looks more than 160.
Hmm.
He looks bigger than that, so it would be a nice test.
Yeah, he was big. He was way bigger than Tim. He looked like a giant compared to Tim.
Yeah, he could easily. I was imagining probably a fight with this guy Hassan Shiraz, a guy that big. I think it would be a competitive fight.
Oh, I'm sure it would be. My last question with you was with the crying Lomachenko emoji. I mean, you said you cried.
Just making fun. Lomachenko fans are so toxic, man. Every time I can get them, I just have a lot of fun with them. They're still crying about Haney still in the fight. They're still you know that many fans justifying Ryan Garcia using substances and stuff are Lomachenko's fans that's still salty.
I get it. I get it. I mean, you take your victory the way you can, right? That's what happens. If the guy keeps beating your guys, you become, I guess, the fan of the other guys until it happens.
That's right.
Awesome. Well, look, I appreciate you jumping in. We're going to be doing these call-ins, so we'd love to have you call in a lot more often. Appreciate you giving your take.
Of course. Thank you so much for the time and have a great day.
Awesome. Appreciate it. All right, let's see. And I drop this. Oh, my bad. My bad. When I switch scenes sometimes. Appreciate it. My bad. My bad. I fixed the sound. All right. Well, I was saying, great call. That's 3 great calls in a row. Everyone's been kind of on the same kind of page. You know what I mean? Little minor tweaks here and there. But ultimately, we all kind of visualize that Terence has more tools than Tim. Some people saying that Crawford would lose. Some people would say, Bakhram would get destroyed. But at the end of the day, the chat, for the most part, we got 166 votes and 81% says Terence should fight Bakhram. As a hardcore boxing fan base, we all think that that's a great fight, and we want to see Terence test himself. This arguably could be the number 1 and number 2-ish, maybe the top 3 guys in the division. So when it comes to legacy and when it comes to proving that you're the best, why not? But we're all realists because we're boxing fans. And because we're boxing fans, we're not naive to, why isn't he not fighting? We understand that Terence wants the Canelo fight. We know that there's lucrative money fights, a Virgil Ortiz, a Fedor, especially if Fedor beats Spence. So we understand that Terence is more looking as a business. But ultimately, as a competitor, I think everyone deep down inside, if this was a way where if Bakhram was the most lucrative guy in the division, if Bakhram was able to give Terence not Canelo money, but the second best money in the division, I think that there should be no excuse. Terence should fight. But when it comes to building a name, Bakhram's far from that. But Freddie says Crawford only wants the Canelo sweepstakes. I mean, he's 37. He's undisputed. We kind of already know the spill. So we've already heard the consistency. So it would be real interesting to see at this point what Terence does. You know, we're kind of at this point where if Terence does not get the Canelo fight, Canelo does not fight him, then what happens next? Does he retire? Like, what? We haven't heard much about Terence speaking on fighting anyone else but Canelo. So did the Bakhram fight intrigue him? You know, I don't think it did, you know. And should he do it for money? I mean, I think he's well put. I think it's better money opportunities. Does he need Bakhram for legacy? Nah, he's already captured a belt in this division, unless his goal was to be 3-time undisputed at this weight. So it's hard. A guy like Terence at this point, it's really hard to figure out what he wants to do. And I think, should he fight him next? It probably won't happen. So that dude would destroy Crawford. Too big, too strong, no Diddy. Yeah. So, but I'm gonna say this, just like everyone in the chat. I don't think there's a single person in the chat. Like I'm reading, it's that Tim messed up with PBC's whole plan. Mismanaged at his finest. Yeah. There wasn't good tape on him though. His last fight, he didn't look good because of Ramadan. Yeah. So there was a lot. I learned a lot just talking to the callers, and so I really appreciate that. And I think ultimately at this point, everyone in the chat is a Bakhram fan. Like, I'm curious right now. Like, you can be honest. Is anyone in here in this chat flat out never gonna watch Bakhram after that fight? Like, never gonna watch him, because I think he made a fan of every single boxing fan. Like, if you go over to, let's see, if I go to YouTube, right, and I go to Premier Boxing Champions, all right, and 13 hours ago, all right, so these are numbers. Capture. It has a replay value about 700,000 views less than 24 hours. So people saw Tim get his ass whooped. Like, people came, and if not, they went and watched it. So for Amazon's first yo, you know what's sad? Like, and I don't want to mean this like in a way where like about Tim, because I think Tim is like generally a nice person. Like, I like Tim. I covered him for a while, and you know, speaking to him, he's like very gentleman-like. But he started off the Amazon Prime thing, right? So the first Amazon card main event was Tim Tszyu versus Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman pulled out due to injury, so it was Fandora. So the first PBC Prime Amazon, it was pay-per-view, but first any PBC Amazon, Tim takes his first loss. The first PBC Amazon Prime for free, no pay-per-view, headlined by Tim Tszyu again, he takes his second loss and got completely destroyed. So I don't know if Amazon on Prime and Tim Tszyu is like not it, but yo, his first 2 losses was on Amazon Prime. That sucks. He kicked it off and he almost ended the year with it. So Tim got his ass whooped in the previous fight. Fuck out of here. I mean, that was a good fight, Slim. I was at that fight. They were going at it. He wasn't very gentlemanlike in the lead up in the fight. I mean, I'm only speaking for myself, you know. But we had a post fight interview with let me see. If you guys didn't get a chance to see it, we got to interview Bakhram, and Bakhram was pretty much saying like, yo, Tim was kind of mean towards me for no reason, and saying all this stuff, but he gets it. He was just hyping it up, trying to build the fight up. So Bakhram recognized there was a little trash talking, and you know, it's fighting, right? Tim had to I guess psych himself up a little bit, but regardless, either or, I think Tim definitely needs to go back to the drawing boards. And Bakhram, in his very humble, chill approach, he's that Arthur Better Beeve Jr., someone said. So Crawford is a grown man. He could do what he wants. Yeah, Crawford worked hard for the fight. Crawford has earned it. He did call him a step-aside fighter. Never seen Tim like that, mad, disrespectful to his opponent. He was talking greasy. He called him a Russian mumbler. He did. I mean, he was talking greasy. You know, Bakhram didn't say nothing crazy, but he did hit him with the, he's a step-aside fighter. He's a Russian mumbler, not intelligent. And I wonder where that all stemmed from. So Tim needs some strength and conditioning because he looked too flabby. No cap. Really? You thought, I guess I have to look at his previous physique. I mean, I'll be honest. I don't think nothing would have prepared him for Bakhram, to be honest. I think his style, come on, bro. I think his style was just not in favor of anything. Bakhram apparently can move backwards and box. I mean, he has bricks. Even the hooks he was throwing was short and generated that much power. Yeah. Well, drink and watch tennis, you know nothing about. Oh. Hey, yo, chat. Y'all be nice, man. Y'all be nice. All right. We were having a chill day, just talking boxing, all right? We can debate. If Crawford loses, he won't get bashed for it. People will say the same thing, like Amir Khan. Yeah, I mean, that's why Canelo said, like, he has nothing to gain. You know, that's how he feels. If he beats Crawford, he's supposed to beat Crawford. And if he loses, I mean, it's not really the best look. So, Boxio, you had a great call, man. I really appreciate you. Please come around more. We're going to do a lot of call-ins throughout the week. So, we're going to get this growing. And you know, this has been a very chill, subtle weekend. Not a big, hyped up pay-per-view fight. Not a Canelo. Not a Gervonta Davis. Not a anything of that sort. But this was a very good card. And like, we're talking mostly about the main event. But to be honest, the co-main and the first fight on the card was like really good fights. Let me go. Let me pull that up because we didn't really didn't spend too much time today talking about that. But I'm gonna pull up the two fights on the card. So the card opened up with Cesar Mateo Tapia and Saavedra. That was the Venezuelan versus the Mexican born fighter that lived in Australia. That was a barn burner. There was 5 knockdowns, right? Tapia went down. No, 4 knockdowns. Tapia went down twice in the third round, and then Saavedra went down. I think like in the 5th round, and then Tapia went down in the 9th. They had that fight as a draw, but me personally, I thought Saavedra edged that out. I mean, he had 3 knockdowns, and I know Tapia was able to negate one of them, but that fight was a barn burner. And the only thing that you need to do next is just do a rematch. I think those guys set the middleweight division on fire. We need some action. We need some attention in there. I'm looking forward to seeing those two guys fight, period. And so I moved to the co-main event. What happened to Russell? Russell won by 4th round stoppage, which was very strange because like PBC didn't do like a YouTube prelims or nothing. I was kind of looking for the rest of the card. So, G Wall says this fight wasn't for the casuals. This card was more for hardcores. In my opinion, I agree. So when we get to the big fights, right? Because like I did a Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia live fight night, and that did like 1.4 million views. It was bananas. There was like 40,000 people in the stream. Like it was going off the chain. So I think it's really cool and nice to have like a calm chat like for these, because we can just really, I can take the time to read you guys and go into it. Ramo, yo, who you got? Little Tapia versus Max Holloway. Illa Tapor. You just went UFC on me. I'm sorry. I'm thinking. Damn, you just threw me off. I'm a Max Holloway kind of fanboyish, but Illa Tapor has good boxing. Like they both have good boxing. So, you know, and styles make fights. You can't go Tapore slept Volk, and Volk dominated Holloway, and you know, it's all different type of stuff. I mean, Max just destroyed Justin Gaethje, so that's a boxing fight itself in UFC. So I'm gonna root for Max, but let the best man win. I didn't really do too much breakdown. I've been kind of resting on my UFC, but awesome ballroom fight over Riyadh season. Yo, that was this was a good ballroom card. I mean, and then the Tellus fight, right? I didn't get into the Ronnie Shield Cuban fighter who fought the heavy, strong-handed. He kind of fought like Marquez a little bit. Johan Gonzalez, 35 wins, 34 by knockout. There was a lot of action. And Tellus is this young, talented Cuban fighter, 24 years old, switch hitter, started off in southpaw, went to orthodox, went back and forth, and he methodically ended up breaking Gonzalez down, and he ended up dropping him multiple times, and he had a very vicious double pump jab hook over the top. So I definitely am a fan of Tellus. I'm gonna keep an eye on him because he knocked out Sergio Garcia. Like, I didn't expect to see that. Like, I was wondering, who is this kid? He was what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He was 5-0, and he was fighting Sergio Garcia on the Terence Crawford Earl Spence card, and he sleeps him. Right? Like, he sleeps him in 3 rounds. So I'm like, yo, who the fuck is this kid? So when he was fighting Johan Gonzalez, trained by Ismael Salas, you know, I'm not saying that, you know, Johan is his world beater, but, you know, these are pretty good fights for a prospect of 24 years old coming in. Like, I'm impressed with this kid. I'm impressed with this kid. You know, he was he said, did he fight? Tim was trying to sell a free fight. Are you saying he was getting touched though? Which fight? You talking about the Tellus fight? If so, he was getting touched a little bit. Freeze, good stuff. Appreciate it, man. We're gonna do the shows on a regular basis now. So I made a conscious decision to kind of focus more on this, so that we have more interaction while we have interviews and things going on. And I'm gonna bring guests. I'm gonna bring on, you know, fighters. So sometimes I do these interviews off Zoom, on Zoom and things like that. But soon I'm gonna start doing them live here. So you'll get to see them live here first, and then they'll come out versus just waiting. So you never know what you get, right? William Skull fight was trash yesterday. Vladimir Shishkin got robbed. I didn't get a chance to fully watch that fight. I was out doing some stuff, but I heard Vladimir, I guess, better performed, but everyone was saying the fight was terrible. And the one thing that's disappointing is that I've covered one Vladimir Shishkin fight, maybe 2 in person. Dmitry Slita, his promoter, would like rave about him like so much. So to hear him not look this great against William Skull, pretty disappointing. I mean, it's just a belt holder at that point. Christian Mbilli's the highest ranked guy for that belt. So in my opinion, I think Christian Mbilli, I think the 3 highest people actually for that belt is Christian Mbilli, Diego Pacheco, and Jaime Munguia. So if everyone's telling me that William Skull looked terrible, then one of those 3 is going to rip that belt off him. So he needs to make some major improvements. I can't really speak on it because I didn't get a chance to fully watch it. I had some highlights, but I still didn't get watch it. But that's what I heard. Yeah, Tellus. Yeah. Okay, that's what you're talking about. Yeah, he did get touched up a little bit in the beginning. He did. But you know, he was a very offensive fighter. So when you find offensive, you tend to get a hit a little bit more. I appreciate it. It was very entertaining. So, but he's 24, young prospect. He's fighting, I think, better competition than a lot of guys in their 9th fight. So, I'll give him that. So just go back in the gym. He had a great jab on southpaw and orthodox, so I'll definitely be tuning in. Who do you got? Morrell versus David, the cocaine monster. As crazy as this sounds, I didn't fully get to... So I was at both of Morrell's and David Benavidez' last fight. When David started slowing down, I went out in the back because Ryan Garcia rode up, so I had to interview Ryan Garcia. So I didn't really get to see it, and I didn't really go back, but I heard he kind of slowed down. I do know that when I was watching the fight in Vegas, David's punch like power didn't seem to have the same sting that he did at 168, fighting guys moving up to 168, right? But he still dominated, still performed well, and he still fought a very, very, very seasoned veteran, former champion at 175. And but I didn't really watch too much of that. And then the David Morrell fight, ironically, I was in LA. I had some seating issues going on at the Crawford fight. I was trying to figure out where I needed to go. So I didn't really watch the David Morrell fight too much too. And this is what kind of happens when you're at the fight. There's so much stuff you have to work on and try to cover and get in content. So I do need to spend some time watching it. So I heard he looked pretty rough. So I'm going to make my assessment based off them just having both like a kind of okay-ish performance. And I know David Benavidez claimed he was injured also in his last fight. So I'm just going to go off their natural ability and what I've seen consistently. I like David Morrell's chances against David Benavidez. He's athletic. He's slippery. He has power. He has good footwork. He has almost everything that can beat a David Benavidez. But the most important thing that David Morrell also has is size. David Benavidez is known to fight a lot of relatively smaller guys. So Morrell and David, they're both big 168 pounders. Ironically, ended at 175. So I really like Morrell's chances. The only thing that Morrell can't get into is close exchange battles. If Morrell gets tired in the fight, which I haven't really seen too much, like I said, I have to really watch his last fight. If he looks tired, if he gets a little fatigued and gets dragged out into a firefight, I think Benavidez takes him apart. Especially if David decides to go to the body and does a lot of feints to the body, to the top. So, but outside of that, I really like the fight. Premature fight, and I'm pretty shocked that happened. But I got a Rez Gutta who just jumped in, so let me get you in on board. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see. Give me 1 second. Where's my call-in? Where's my call-in? Did I just drop my call out? I'm going to bring you in. Hold on. Give me 1 second. StreamYard. Hold on. Oh, did I lose you, Rez? Hold on. My bad, Rez. If you want to jump back in, I didn't have my stream up. Here we go. All right. Once again, if you want to jump in the live call-ins, that was my bad. I didn't actually have that up. I closed that browser, so feel free to jump back in. Rez, if you want to chat, I'll get you on board. We can talk a little bit about some of the fights over Saturday. So there we go. All right. I'll put this right here. Okay, cool. David Benavidez. What's the difference from Bud fighting? Oh, there we go. I got you. Right.
Yo,
Rez,
can you hear me?
Can you hear me, Rez?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, my bad. I didn't have you properly set up. I got you right here. So what you think, man? I got you on live. What you think about the fight Saturday?
Are we live? I think it just kind of showed that some of these dudes that we have on some of these high pedestals thinking that they something that a lot of them is not as great as we like to hype them up to be. I was never really big on Tim Tszyu like that. Anyway, I mean, I don't want to sound like Mayweather or nothing, but he's kind of straight up and down, no special effects. A good fighter though, like he a good fighter, a good puncher, but I mean, would you really have favored him over Charlo or Crawford? Or I wouldn't have even favored him over Spence prior to the Crawford fight and all that, when they was already talking about him moving up to 154, I mean, I never really favored him over none of those guys like that, to be honest. I mean, he's just a real good, solid fighter. And I think last night showed you the difference between a really good, solid fighter and a special fighter. You see what I'm saying? Not taking anything away from the Russian dude that beat him. I'm not taking anything away from him at all. But when you really start to look and delve into a lot of these fighters, bro, a lot of these fighters is built up. They not really, you know, what the machine behind them is pushing them to be. A lot of these fighters is not really that. There's only a few certain, probably a good handful that's really something special. You know what I'm saying? When we talking about specials, we talking about the Crawfords, the Canelos, the Tanks. You know what I'm saying? Like guys like that in that A+ level. I don't know where he go from now. I mean, if he had had a fight, if he had came back to like a simpler fight, a easier little touch fight, the next fight he probably walks through that dude, to be honest. And that's just being all the way honest. Like he probably would have walked through dude, but like it's a different type of fighter. You can't just jump off everybody can't just come off a layoff and hop right into a tough fight. You know what I'm saying? That separates the good from the elite type of guys. Even for an elite fighter though, that's hard to do. You know what I'm saying? Like you see Crawford, he went and had a tune-up, stay busy fight before he fought Spence. He ain't just jump in there and fight Spence. And you seen what Spence tried to do. But even though I put him in that tier with them, but you know, it's different. It's different. It's different situations with different calibers of fighters. You know what I'm saying? When Shakur Stevenson come back, I don't even expect him to just jump straight into the Zepeda fight when he's supposed to make his return in February. And he is a special fighter. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's just different. I don't know, man. Like Tim Tszyu, he was an alright fighter. He was like a C+B level fighter.
So I gotta ask you, and I see you, Chicago Kill. So I'll bring you in a few. Just gonna ask Gutter. Should Terence Crawford fight Bakhram, the guy that just destroyed Tim Tszyu? Does it make sense? Do you want to see it?
I wouldn't mind it. It makes sense. But it's how can I say it? It's better fights at 154 for him, if that'll make sense. But I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing it. But the real question is Terence Crawford even looking at that as like a serious fight? Because I think at this point in Bud's career, he just wants every fight to try to possibly be like a mega fight or a big fight. I wouldn't mind seeing it. You know, you get a belt. He just beat the guy, the quote unquote. Even though I can't, they're gonna paint it like, you know how the media. Well, you in the media, so. But you know how the media likes to spin it. You guys gonna paint it like he beat the guy, you know? So it wouldn't be bad. I wouldn't mind seeing it. It's not necessarily the fight that I want to see. I want to see him fight Canelo now because everybody's just been making a big thing about him fighting Canelo. What I'm interested in more than anything is how Spence Fundora plays out if we get that fight. Because I'm not even... That's like a 50-50 fight. Probably 60-40 favoring. I favor Fundora 60-40, to be honest, just given everything that's going on. But that's an important fight to me because the implications of the fight. It sets up a way bigger fight down the line. You know what I'm saying?
But my last question with you, Gutter, is then, you know, if Bakhram can't get the Terence Crawford fight, Who should he fight?
I mean, you got guys at 54. Lubin always an entertaining fight. I don't know what Charlo doing. He on the hiatus. Uh, Magramov, the guy Crawford just fought. That'd be a good fight. Um, you know what? I wouldn't even mind seeing him running back with Zoo. If
A rematch after he got destroyed?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing him running back because like it'll answer a bunch of questions in his situation. Was it the layoff? Was it this? Was it that? You know what I'm saying? He's not making excuses, which I shouldn't expect him to. But I wouldn't mind seeing a rematch because even with Zoo, he looked at Rusty like he looked at like a guy that haven't fought in however so many months.
Got it.
But if you how you pronounce his name?
I say Bakhram. That's his first name. His last name is pretty a tongue twister. So just say Bakhram.
Yeah. Well, if you the Russian dude, I'm not, but if you the Russian dude, man, I mean, you trying to get the biggest fight, so you instantly looking at Crawford. You're looking at Spence Fondora winner. You looking at, you know what I'm saying, guys like that. Shit. They said Boots is Boots moving up to 54.
I mean, it's not official. He's at 147, but he's eventually gonna go there.
Yeah, I could have swore I just seen an article about him just moving up to 54 or something like that or something. I don't know. But if he immediately moves up to 54 after his fight that he got coming up, you know what I'm saying? It's like one of those things where, like, when you one of those type of guys get a good name, you want to strike while the iron hot. You want to get the biggest name that you can coming off a win like that, because usually you probably wouldn't even got a big name business wise. You know what I'm saying? Business wise, you probably wouldn't have, if you never beat Zoo or anything like that, you probably never fight Crawford ever. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you gotta strike while the iron's hot. So if I'm him, I'm looking at nothing but big names.
So, well, got it. I appreciate you calling in. I'm going to switch over to Chicago Kills. He's been patiently waiting. Feel free to call back in anytime, and I appreciate you just spending. We're creating this whole live show environment, so we're gonna keep doing this. So hopefully you stick around and call in more often, my guy.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. Football Sundays, I'm in the house chilling, just
Awesome. Appreciate it, my guy.
for sure. You too, bro.
All right. So I see you, Kevin. I'll bring you in a sec. I got to bring in Chicago Kills. What's going on, man?
Yeah. What up? What up?
What's going on? I appreciate you taking the time to call on Football Sunday, man. I know there could be a lot of games you could be watching, but
you know what? I know the Bears are on right now. We've been killing. Old boy just reminded me I got to go watch the Bears right now. But man, I've been. So look, my background is like I've been watching boxing for a long time. 42 years old. Come from Chicago, and my thoughts on this Russian. All right. It made me think about what Paulie Malignaggi had said I think it was a couple years ago, that and he got a lot of slack for a lot of like pushback about it because they thought that he was on some racist shit. Can we swear on this platform?
you can swear. I mean, just keep it respectful.
Just keep it
no
like
racist.
Right.
The simple etiquette.
I got
rules.
you.
Yeah, you can.
And so Paulie Malignaggi had said something about like how like certain ethnicities and races had their time, right? Like the African American had their time, and now it's gonna be the Eastern European coming in, and it's gonna be their time, right? And just kind of remembering what he has said, and it's kind of coming to fruition right now. And also the Latino boxers are coming up. And last night was crazy, man. I didn't catch it live, right? Because I'll be on that app, streameast.live, XYZ, but I wasn't able to watch it. But I caught the highlights while listening to the boxing voice. And then I went back and I went to go watch it. And bro, when I was watching it, I felt sorry for Tim, man, because he got hurt really bad. He could have died up in there. I'm glad they threw on the towel. I only counted 4 knockdowns. And they were saying he got knocked down 6 times in 3 rounds.
Yeah, some people were saying it was 6. Some people said 4, 5. I just knew it was bad.
It was bad. I know he got knocked down 3 times in the second, and then he got knocked down once in the third, and then they threw in the towel. But man, he got hurt. I mean, he wasn't bleeding or busted up. He had some knots on his head, but no, man, he took a bad one. As far as Bakhram, you know what? I would like to see Crawford fight him only because I don't like Crawford, and I want to see Crawford get his ass whooped. I don't like Crawford. I don't like his style. I don't like the way he carries himself. I don't like the way he talks. I don't like the way he looks. I just don't like nothing about him. I think he talks a lot of shit. I think that he wants to try to bring the streets into boxing. And you got to remember that Crawford got shot in the head before. So if he keeps acting the way he does, somebody's going to shoot him in the head again. And you know what I mean? So he got to chill out because he's trying to go at the Latinos and Mexicans. And the Latinos and Mexicans, bro, they don't play around. They'll kill you. So, like, for real. And I would like to see him fight that Russian because Crawford coming up into 154, he almost lost the fight against Madridov. He wasn't active in that fight, barely threw any punches, got caught a lot of times with the right hand from Madrimov. He wasn't really doing anything impressive. I don't think he's slick. I don't think he's strong for 154. I really don't see him doing anything to this Russian dude. I really don't see him doing anything to Virgil Ortiz. I don't see him doing anything to Bochuk. And Fandora, I mean, I don't really see him doing anything, to be honest. But Fandora is about to fight, I guess, Spence. Madrimov is about to fight Bochuk. I guess that's in the works. Virgil don't got a fight right now, so I would like to see Crawford and Virgil. I don't think Crawford can handle Virgil. A lot of people say that Virgil lost the Bochuk fight, but in reality, I mean, that was a war, and Ortiz won. He was more active. He landed the cleaner shots, the more powerful shots, and he showed his heart. So there's a lot more than just being slick in the ring. You got to have heart. And from what I've been seeing, all these slick fighters, they ain't got no heart when it comes down to it. When it comes down to being a real fight, when you're in the ring with a Mexican or with an Eastern European, that slickness, that shit don't matter. You got to have heart. You got to come to fight. You got to come to die. And, me being from Chicago, it's real, it's tough. We're voted the best, biggest city in America for the 8th time in a row. New York and LA, they ain't nothing on us. Philly is soft. And Baltimore is just poor. And when you come from Chicago, man, you get money and you fight, and it's segregated around here, but everybody gets along unless you disrespect. So everything's about respect. And I feel like Crawford, he don't respect nobody. Crawford's going at Teofimo Lopez's father, disrespecting him like that. Keyshawn Davis disrespecting his father, bro. That kind of stuff will get you shot in the head, bro. Seriously, they need to chill on that stuff. They need to keep it boxing, because if they want to take it to the street, wherever they go, it's gonna go down. I really don't like that whole camp. I don't like Keyshawn Davis. I don't like Shakur Stevenson. I don't like Bomac. Definitely don't like Bud. The only one I do like out of that camp is I think he's a 168er. Stevenson, not Shakur Stevenson, but
Steven Nelson.
Steven Nelson. He's cool. He's humble. Ex-Marine, did a lot, does a lot, knows how to carry himself, knows how to act. He got class. It's all about knowing how to act, bro. Everybody comes from the hood. Everybody got their own hood. Everybody has their own neighborhood, right? But when you're out in the public, you gotta know how to act. You gotta know how to respect. You gotta know how to act, because then people ain't gonna like you, and then you're gonna carry around this facade of, oh, nobody likes me, nobody wants to give me a chance. Well, because you come up in here ghetto, you come up in here acting stupid, you come up in here acting loud, you come up in here disrespecting people's fathers, people's families, people, like the public, the fans. We don't like that stuff. We don't like that. And if we want to see you get your ass whooped. So I want to see him fight Bakhram. That's the next fight. If Crawford don't want to fight Bakhram, then Crawford's a pussy. And all his fans, y'all better tell him, fight Bakhram. You come into the 154 division, you fight Madrimov to a 12-round decision where a lot of people thought you lost, some people thought you won. It was a 50-50. How you going to come into 154 from 147, call yourself a pound-for-pound great, and then go 12 rounds with a nobody who had 10 fights as a pro? To be honest with you, when we talk about pound for pound, I really don't like to add the little guys, the 115s or the flyweights or super flyweights, because pound for pound to me is who can fight who and win. I don't think those little guys are gonna go up and fight 47 pounders, 60, 68 pounders, heavyweights and win. The pound for pound for me is Usyk. He beat Fury. Fury beat the shit out of Wilder. Wilder was a killer. For me, it's Usyk, Dubois, Fury, Canelo, Crawford. Tank, he ain't fought nobody. He ain't wanting to fight nobody. I mean, he got power to knock you out, but he ain't fought nobody. So after Crawford, it's Teofimo. And Teofimo, he's trying to get that Crawford fight, and Crawford's he's ducking him. He's ducking Teofimo Lopez. Everybody's saying Teofimo Lopez is racist, this and that, calling them monkeys and come get this banana. Hey man, you know what? It ain't like y'all work in an office building where you can't fight, where there's HR. Nah, bro, y'all in boxing. Beat up, put Teo in his place, beat his ass. If he's talking all that racist stuff, beat him up then. Beat him up. Because you're over here giving Teofimo stipulations on fight this guy first and then you can fight me. When Crawford's trying to fight Canelo, and everybody's saying that Canelo's going to put Crawford in a coma if he ends up fighting him, but he's trying to get that fight, right? So for me, I think if Crawford don't fight Bakhram, Crawford should fight Teo. Fight Teo, shut him up if you can shut him up, get the bag, and then forget about Spence. Spence is washed up. I heard Spence calling Keith Thurman a goofy. But you know what? Who's the one who was driving drunk twice and almost died, right? Who's the one that got his ass beat by Crawford when he was ducking him for so many years, and Al Heyman was telling him, nah, bro, you don't need that fight. You don't need that fight. Finally takes the fight and gets his ass beat. I mean, Crawford, what's his name? Spence, have you ever heard him speak? The boy ain't got no type of, he ain't got no language. He doesn't know how to talk right. He just mumbles. He's either drunk or he's high all the time. Crawford's a goofy. He's the biggest goofy in boxing. As far as Benavidez, I feel like Benavidez needs to put on more muscle. I mean, he looked super small against Gazdeck. He still won, and he was putting the pressure, putting some nice combinations together. You know, he hurt him a little bit here and there. But if he's gonna want to go and give Butterbeef a run for his money, he needs to put on some muscle, because he needs to be able to hurt Butterbeef. He needs to be able to keep Butterbeef away just a little bit by making Butterbeef respect his power. Because yeah, he could put some nice combinations together, and he got that heart and everything. But you need some power. You know, I would rather have power in my punches than being slick, because you see what happened to what's his name, the dude Chris Colbert. You see what happened to him. He had all the talent and all the skill in the world, all the slickness, and then he got knocked out by Rayo. Rayo? Come on, man. Rayo, I mean, Rayo's good, but Rayo ain't knocking nobody out, and he knocked yeah, David needs to go to the gym, but I do think David will beat Morrell. I think Morrell's just too green. He doesn't know how to overcome pressure, and he doesn't know how to overcome when he's down in a fight, where he's getting beat. He almost lost to Hot Rod. Hot Rod, a lot of people say Hot Rod won that fight. That Morrell lost it. Hot Rod was putting on a nice little boxing clinic, catching him with sharp rights, sharp lefts, hitting him with the jab, moving in and out. So I like Morrell, but Um, what else were we talking about? Canelo.
All right,
Let's see.
Chicago. Chicago.
Yeah, my bad, my bad.
I gotta drop a wedge. I'm gonna give you last.
I got you.
My man went through 1,000 topics. I'll give you last one. I gotta get my boy Kevin on.
For
but
sure, for sure.
But you want Terence to fight Bakhram? If not, you want him to fight Tszyu, correct?
Yes, those are the only two fights for him. Look, right now at 154, Bakhram's on top. Tim Tszyu is an A-class fighter. I don't know who's calling him a B or a C. All these guys in boxing are A-class fighters. But are they like that A-plus fighter? No. Tim Tszyu is an A-minus. He got that pedigree. Look at his father. I don't know about people saying, oh, it doesn't matter about his father, this and that. But, man, you got to look. He comes from his father's nutsack. He got his father's blood in him. So you got to give him something like that, right? But Tim Tszyu, he needs to go. He needs to chill, take some time off, get his mind right. Hopefully he's okay. A lot of people are saying that that Bakhram might have been cheating. He might be on some steroids. What was in his gloves and all that. But look, my opinion is that Crawford thinks he's the biggest, baddest wolf in the 154 division. Well, it's time to show it. You know, he beat a washed-up Spence who got into 2 car accidents, who was a drunk, came off of the bench and was a drunk. I don't give him no credit for that. And who did Spence beat? Spence fought a washed-up Mikey Garcia, a washed-up Porter, a washed-up Danny Garcia. He never wanted to get in the ring with Keith Thurman. So just to make it real quick, boss, yeah, he needs to fight Tszyu or he needs to fight Bakhram. He needs to show some balls, and he needs to knock them out. He can't go 12 rounds. If he goes 12 rounds with another person, he's off of my pound-for-pound list, because when you really think about it, who did Crawford fight to get on the pound-for-pound list? So with that said, let's go Chicago Bears, and watch out for Chicago Kills, because I'm coming.
All right. Appreciate you calling in, my guy. You got the chat. The chat's kind of like, yo, man, get this guy off the phone. Well, look, I'm not gonna interrupt his call. All right? He called in. He had a lot of things he wanted to say. Um, you know, if you want to call in, you want to challenge his views, go ahead. I can get him back on. We can get a little debate. You guys can debate. Obviously, you keep it, respectful and things like that. I mean, I understood his valid points about, making fights happen, but, I didn't agree with the stuff that Tszyu was saying. So, but we'll leave that on to another day. Simple. He wants Crawford to fight Bakhram. If not, Tszyu. That's pretty much what I got out of all that. But I saw Minnesota Mick. He was in here. He was like, yo, where's that New York guy? The Puerto Rican dude from New York. Where KG, the New York guy, at, right? I got him right here. So, if you guys aren't familiar, this is my guy, Kevin Garcia, the one and only, the Puerto Rican kid. He's been out there at Florida. Well, I don't know where you're at right now. You're driving from Florida, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So long drive wherever you're going. So
we got a hike yet.
And right before I get to it, Black, trust me, there will be a lot of challenging people's views. As in right now, I'm just trying to get everyone just to call in. Eventually, we're gonna have the whole challenge perspective. I'm just trying to make sure that the calls go through. We can be here all day. So don't worry, man. I don't agree with everything that every caller says. So, but Kevin. Recapping from yesterday, you were at the fight.
I got some responses to Chicago Kills though.
Okay. So right there. So right there, you got it, Black.
Right. Yo, first of all, my man Ron is doing something real dope, and I hope y'all continue to engage. It is great to hear the fans and their perspectives. I love it. I love when they go left, like that last one just did. Look, first of all, shout out to Chicago. I lived in Chicago 2 years, so Chicago Kills. What's up? Worked everywhere, man. South Highland, Harvey, which are the suburbs, all the way to 111 South Halsted, everywhere. So much love to Chicago for sure. With that being said, Chicago, you had some good points. She was wilding, my man. We can never call Bud Crawford goofy. Ever. Who did he beat? Oh my God. How many people did he knock out in the welterweight division before he fought Spence? A lot. What, 10? Or what, 9 in a row? I think 10. Or Spence was 10. So he doesn't knock out Madrimov. He controlled him the whole fight, man. Don't discredit Bud Crawford. I'd love to see him fight Bakhram too. But goofy, far from it, man. Pound for pound of this era, hands down. That was just, I was listening the whole time. Chicago, again, much love to you for engaging. We do appreciate your take, and we love to get more of it. But I just can't come in following that. I can't come in following that, Ron, and accept them calling Bud a goofy. Terrible,
Fine,
terrible.
man.
We got to show our fighters. We got to show our fighters more respect than that, especially a guy like Bud Crawford. All right, got it off my chest. What you got, Ron?
I mean, you're more than welcome to speak your mind, man. I got you in right here, man. I mean, and I see real quick. I see you, Rich, in the background. So we'll get you in, you know. And if anything, I'll probably bring you in with Kevin so that you can engage as well with them. So.
Yeah. What Rich talking about?
I mean, we can bring him in.
You
hey,
want
Rich,
this recap?
I'm just kind of mad about how soon as Tim Tszyu loses to this nobody, I ain't gonna say you're nobody, but lose to this guy, now all of a sudden he's a top contender for Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford better fight him. He should fight him and stuff like that. Like if Terence Crawford would have fought this guy before Madrimov, people would have called him a cherry picker and all types of stuff, because they ain't know who he really was. You see what I'm saying? But as soon as he beat Tim Tszyu, then it's a big issue that he one of the best in the weight class and this, that, and third. It's crazy to me, if you ask me.
Rich, you know what I would say, Rich?
Yeah.
And this is what I was saying this whole weekend. Like I was at this fight, right? So this is what's hot on my mind about this fight, Ron and Rich and anybody listening. What's hot on my mind about this weekend is, first of all, huge respect to the Australians, to the Australian fighters, to the Australian media, and to the Australian fan base. They showed up, and they put this fight on the map for their country, and they reported, and they made it as big as they could. Unfortunately, American media didn't do the same. But everybody that's here with us, FightHype did. We were there, we covered the fight, and we brought you everything all week. So much news came out this week during this event. It was a great event. But here's the thing about a dude like Bakhram, when we say, all of a sudden, I'm going to keep it a beam with you, Rich. I've never watched one Bakhram fight before yesterday. However, been around boxing a long time, and I love boxing my whole life. I'm 36, and I boxed since I was like 11. But what I do know is this. We got to stop saying a fighter, and I'm not saying you're saying this, Rich, but I think that's the perception. Oh, who was this guy? And now he's the big bad wolf. We just didn't know him. That doesn't mean he wasn't always that guy. We just didn't show, because we do that here in America, right? They're from England. They're from, they Slavic. They're from Russia, whatever. They ain't nice. And we discredit them. We got to pay more attention. That's what I say. Pay more attention. Before we say somebody's a cherry pick, like they did the same thing with Madrimov. Oh, this guy's only got 11 fights. He gave Bud the best fight I've ever seen anybody give Bud. Personally, I would have to really think who gave Bud a tougher challenge. Gamboa at times, but it seemed like Madrimov was probably the best fight we've ever seen Bud in as far as the challenge. He was always a dog, but we just didn't know about it. We got to stop saying somebody ain't that guy because we didn't know about him. Do some research, But I feel you. Look, that's perception now, Rich. Perception now is what matters. The perception is Bakhram is the dog in that division, and of course, Bud is the dog. They got to fight. And he got a chip. Bud needs that chip if he wants to unify and become undisputed in third weight class. So it's got to happen. It's Bud against them or Bud against Fundora Spence winner, one or the other.
Right. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not saying that he's a nobody. I'm not saying none of that. I'm saying the fans, they come through saying all this stuff about Crawford, this, like the guy that just was on before you. He said Crawford fought nobody. He don't like Crawford, disrespectful. He want to see him fight Tszyu. Like, it's just guys, stop, man. Give credit where it's due. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
That's all I wanted to say, though.
Great follow up, man. That's what it is, man. And me, I want to give everyone the opportunity to speak their mind. You know what I mean? And now if it goes too far left, I got it. But obviously everyone has their favorites and different fan bases. So obviously, if Terence and Tszyu did fight, people would watch that. You know what I mean? A lot of people would.
People would love to watch Tszyu get his ass beat. But people would love to see that right now. But y'all be safe, man. Glad y'all put me on y'all platform. Y'all be safe, man.
Well, appreciate
Thank
you,
you,
Rich.
Rich.
Please call in, not just on rebuttals, man. Just call in anytime we have the stream link up, and you want to give your thoughts. Please just engage. You know, this is what the platform, this live segment's for. It's for not just me to sit here and talk for an hour like Mr. Know-It-All or Kevin driving. You know, after a long fight week, it's for you guys to come off and get stuff off your chest and use the platform to let these fighters know.
All right.
Yeah, this is my main takeaway from this weekend run, and then I got anything that you want to talk about. I'm happy to talk
Mhm.
about. My main takeaway is exactly what I was saying. Just to expound on that a little bit. It's the Australians, man. Like I was just so proud as a boxing fan to see what their media did, their fan base, and the fighters. Look, I've been to a lot of fights, and I get it because if I was a fighter and I took a loss, I don't know how willing I'd be to come out, and maybe that's American culture. I don't know, but often, right? A guy takes a really bad loss, you don't see him after the fight. Now, shout out to a dude like Spence who showed up. Shout out to plenty others. There's a good handful who have, but for the most part, they don't. It's just what it is. To see Mateo Tapia with one eye shut, no sunglasses, walk into that scrum and answer questions, even after taking a loss that I'm sure he felt he won, you got to give it respect. To see, Tim Tszyu, who probably wasn't in the best state of mind, but was trying to do the right thing, show up to that scrum and be honest about what was on his mind was amazing to see as a fight fan. You want to see that, and we deserve to see that, right? Especially as fight fans who are paying to watch a fight in person, who sign up for Amazon Prime or whatever it is. That's part of the product, and I feel like yesterday they were served a complete product. They got the fight, they got the response. Fighters showed up. I thought it was dope, and I thought it was a great card, no matter what people were saying beforehand. And I think it proved that it was in action. The main card was lights out, fight after fight after fight, exciting. So, I mean, I think it was a dope event.
So my question is, does Bakhram actually fight Terence, or does Bakhram have to fight a whole bunch of other killers in 154?
Nah, I think Bakhram, from the sense that I got from Bakhram and his team, is they want championships, and they're willing to do it. I mean, look, the business is one thing, and if and how it gets made is a whole nother conversation. But I think what Bakhram desires are those fights. And should he fight Bud? Yeah, definitely. That's the fight. That's the fight. Look, Bakhram, he's. I think he's gonna be perceived as like one or split that with Terence until we see what happens in Spence Fundora in that weight division. I think that's the fight. I think that's the fight. I mean, we were all talking about Canelo Crawford, and diehard Crawford fans still want to see that, I'm sure. But how could you not want to see Bud? Now he's got somebody. Now there's somebody in that ring that you're like, I don't know. We want to see that, right? Because you can't say going into a Bakhram Terence Crawford fight now that it's a cherry pick, or that it's one guy is easily going to be favored over the other. In my heart of hearts, I think Bud goes in there and Bud's got the tool bag to pull it off. I think he's got deep bag and he'll make the right adjustments. It'll be a tough fight. But I think Bud could win that fight, and I think Bud should take that fight. I would love to see that fight next for Bud.
I have two comments I'm going to read. Black EST, I get what you're saying on this perspective. Not every person who supports Tio supports what Tio necessarily says. I think in Chicago Kill's case, he was kind of mentioning, if you didn't like what he said, this is the only sport you actually get to fight and beat them up. So, in my sense, I don't support anything Tio said. I honestly, anyone with a logical brain doesn't support what Tio was saying about the monkeys and the bananas. No one's supporting it. I think Chicago was mentioning fight Tio because if he's this obnoxious, petty guy, then beat his ass up for the world to see. And I get it. You don't use racism to get yourself a fight. Don't use that type of stuff. And that's probably why Tio ain't getting a fight from Terence. So that's why we ain't talking about Tio versus Terence, because it looks like Terence ain't rewarding that behavior. Now CJ mentioned something. I put him up right here. All right, I'll give you an opportunity to get at him, CJ, and it's your opportunity to respond back, Kevin. He says, this guy, Kevin, supports the cheater in boxing. His words have no substance. He degrades Haney in every interview. So why isn't he laughing at Tim Tszyu?
Hey, CJ, if that's how you feel, I'm gonna tell you, I'm very sorry, but brother, you are taking interviewing and reporting a way different way. I don't degrade Haney. Tell me one comment I've made. Feel free to put in the chat to degrade Haney. In fact, I support Devin and Bill. I like Devin. I think he's a good kid, and I think his dad is a great dad. I mean, he put his son in position to succeed, and he has. What I've been doing, if you're referencing recent interviews, is getting perspective because that's what fans want to hear. They want to know what X fighter thinks about Y situation. If you don't like that, then brother, don't listen. But we've got to ask the question. So if you're referencing my commonly asked recently question, which is, what do you think about the Devin Haney lawsuit? It's a question. Listen to those interviews carefully. I do not lead, steer, or direct. If a guy tells me, hey, I think it's valid, I will go, oh, is that what you think? Cool. Why? Not, why would you think that? That's crazy. That's not what I do. So you got that twisted, CJ, but keep watching. We appreciate the views.
All right, I got John Dollars that just jumped in, so I'm gonna bring you in here, John, or John by whatever. I'm gonna bring you on. What's going on, man?
Yo, appreciate your outlook, man. Kev, you be doing your thing. Ron G, y'all be doing your thing. I just had to come in and say, like, I don't know if I agree with you, Kev. I don't think, dude. I ain't gonna lie. Shout out to Tim Tszyu. Wow, man, he died. He went out on his shield last night, but you know, I don't think he did enough to get Crawford. Crawford's respectfully, he the A side now. I think he gets to pick who he wants, and I don't think that guy has done enough to not get that big fight yet.
Nah. First of all, John, thank you for hopping in. And look, man, we all got an opinion. I respect yours, brother, 100%. You're entitled to that. Now, let me tell you this, because the one thing I hate in boxing, or it bothers me a lot, is when I read comments or somebody says something, which I honestly, I don't get too much of that, so appreciate you guys. But, this reporter's biased. I don't really care about, presenting my perspective on what I do. But if there's one person that I would openly admit that I ride for more than anybody, it's Terence Bud Crawford. So I'm telling you, that's my guy. I'm not going to hide it. I'm not going to lie about it. I think Bud is the best of this era. However, he's got to fight that guy, John. That guy's got a strap. That guy just washed Tim Tszyu, unfortunately for Tim. And I say that with a lot of respect, but that's what happened, right? He ran through Tim last night. That's a fight that should be made, because the other fight that Crawford's after is Canelo. Do we want to see Bud inactive for another year chasing a Canelo fight? Or we want to see him go take a strap from somebody that just had an incredible fight and is being perceived is the key word here, not that it's factual, but perception. He's a boogeyman now at 154. Why wouldn't you want to see him take that off him?
The boogeyman is crazy. I think
he's our boogeyman, not the, but you got it.
All right, so I don't want to see Crawford versus Canelo. I'm not a big fan of that, right? And realistically, I'm sorry, I'm at work. Realistically,
we at work too.
Right. Realistically, I don't think that fight's gonna happen. I don't want to see him and Tszyu at all either. I just, I don't want to see that. I don't think that's something. I think Tszyu just be fishing, and whatever he catch is what he gonna go with. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What do you want to see, John?
I want to see Crawford and Fedora. You know, I think that the fact that I don't think that Tim Tszyu should even got pushed to the IBF fight. I think that he should have took some warm-up fights before he was even, granted he was a champion, or I feel like he should have sat on the sideline, took a tune-up fight, and got the rematch with Fedora. And, you know, we would be having a different conversation now. Maybe then Crawford, but to the point that Crawford is not going to get credit if he beats his dude up. Even that he knocked Tim Tszyu out last night. He's not going to get credit.
What will he get, John? What will he get, though?
I mean, the IBF, but I mean...
Does that matter?
You know how the IBF...
That's what I was saying, like what John was saying.
It matters if you want undisputed, but you know how the IBF is. He going to win the scratch, and then...
You got to fight John next, or we taking it back.
Come on, you know how they are. They're going to drop the mandatory. They're going to throw a name in the hat ASAP. Yo, so-and-so from Joe Blow from Vegas, he up next. And Bud don't fight him, they're going to take the scrap back. So it's like, does the IBF really matter? It only matters if they're chasing undisputed. So I feel like that belt can sit there for a little bit. Let dude get his name up. And the reason the Tim Tszyu fight made sense was because Tim Tszyu is somewhat a bigger name in that division. You know, Jamel, Charlo's out. Get what I mean?
Champion
Lupus
recess.
is like, you know, like he was the only big name next up after Fedora, and we don't really want to see the Spence fight again. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know why Fedora took the fight for money.
Let me play devil's advocate with John in this, because I understand a lot of the same points, right? He's at a point where it's like another belt, but as a fight fan, right? There's a realistic perspective. You spit all the realist part. Now let's put the fan side now, right? Because the fan doesn't always happen. All the fandom, I love this fight, I love Bud versus Boots, all this stuff. That stuff ain't happening.
Right.
So I'm gonna go to fantasy land.
Okay.
Would you rather see Crawford fight Bakhram, the guy who took him out faster and devastating, opposed to Fedora, who had a bloody 10, almost still lost? Like perspective as a fight fan, not the realistic. The politics. Would you rather see him fight Bakhram?
A better fight. I mean, I guess the guy who took Tim Tszyu out, because regardless, I think the fights are gonna be different. Crawford is definitely not gonna do what Tim Tszyu did last night. I don't know what that was. I don't know if he just needed a big knockout to build up the fight, but he came in there and basically just trying to walk him down. He wasn't behind his jab. I don't know what was being said in the camps, but that performance wasn't. I don't know what he expected from that performance. And you know them do some rough play. You know they handle business. You know they yeah. So
can I ask you one question?
I would favor that. I would like that fight better. If those are the options.
I got one question for you, John. Would you rather see Bud fight once or twice next year?
Come on, you know he's fighting once, bro.
But what would you rather?
Come on, Bud is the best in the business right now. That's my guy. So I want to see him
twice.
Fight. Yeah, of course.
Why not fight Bakhram, take the chip, let Spence Fedora do what they do, cook, and then build that fight up, unified, undisputed.
Yeah, but like he said, I mean, all right, we playing the fantasy thing. Because Bud is not.
Like the actual boxing fandom, the boxing fan, not the boxing politics, the real, like we being boxing fans.
Yeah. I would love to see that. I would love to see it. And the fight would be bigger. It would be bigger. Because I think of anything, the only thing Fedora gets out of fighting Spence is the name and the money. You know, if that. You know, I think Spence is, you know, I'm not going to say it. I was telling my man the other day, like, Spence shouldn't hang his head low because he lost to a good fighter. He lost to a generational talent. So it's like, I think a lot of people put wrongful slack on Spence for that performance, but it's like he lost to the best of the best. He lost to the Mayweather of this generation. Like, he should get credit for that. You know, like.
Say it again, baby. You know, Mayweather of this generation. Facts.
Even if, like, go as far as just watching Crawford tapes, like, the way he prepared, the way he locked in, he's different. Like, and I really feel like, even in the Fedora fight, I be having my girl watching boxing, but she was like, you think Spence can beat him? I was like, I think Spence got it. I think Spence has a chance. You know, like I said, I don't take away the fact that he lost to Crawford and say, oh, Spence a bum. Everybody be like, he a bum now. He this, the car crash, this. Don't forget, Spence used to be that guy. You know what I mean? He was taking straps before that. He was big dog. You know what I mean? He was that guy. You know, and people forget that because of the whooping he took from Crawford. But Crawford is different. You know, Crawford different. Crawford knocked out Gamboa. Gamboa was undefeated. You know, Crawford. Who else? Come on, man. And this guy that came in here crazy about my boy. I don't know what he been watching over the years. Crawford been putting in work for a while. Just because he ain't get the stamp, you know what I mean? They try to diminish my man's resume. It's not that. He been a guy for a minute. Just now he beat a notable name that shot, and I say a notable name that shot cared about. You know what I mean? You know, that's a different conversation. I don't want to rant about that.
I guess in Kevin's defense, then it's like, then why not take the Bakhram fight? If it's not about the big names, then it's like, continue the path that you were. You were taking out the Victor Postals. You were taking out the Mean Machine. You just fought the Mazurov. Why not be the Eastern European assassin, the Eastern European killer?
That's crazy.
The style that Americans can't get through. But Terence Crawford. I mean, how many Eastern Europeans did Floyd fight?
Let me give you this. Let me give you this thing about boxing. Boxing is funny. Boxing is all about momentum, right? When you beat a big name like, even I feel like I didn't like the fact that he took the Israel fight. And Kev, I agree with you, bro. I don't think that was his toughest fight. I don't think that.
What was it?
I think that it was a difficult fight because that guy has he fights like Bevo in the sense where he uses a lot of feints. He pauses a lot. I think, first of all, Bud Crawford is he loves to fight a down fighter, right? So somebody that's fighting down here, like if him and the Tim Tszyu fight would have happened, Tim Tszyu is tailor made to get smoked by Bud, right? You see what happened when he fought Errol. Styles make fights. You see how he fought Errol, and Errol was down here, and you saw what he did with him. That the same thing would have happened with Tim Tszyu, right? But somebody who's feinting a lot, pausing a lot, faking it, faking that's a Bevo kind of style. I feel like that's difficult. The right hand was landed wrong, but I just feel like Bud has been through more adversity in different fights. I wasn't worried that fight.
Name me a fight. Tell me a fight.
I'm gonna again both fight. I called it that before. That was a tough fight for him.
Was it though? Was it a tough fight or was it an exciting fight that he allowed himself to get involved in?
Nah, Gamboa won a few early rounds. Gamboa won rounds. You know what I mean? And then he hurt. He hurt Bud. I can't say Bud was hurt in that Israel fight. I can't say that. You get what I mean?
Nah. I feel you on that. Gamboa hurt him. Mean Machine, debatably hurt him, right? I don't think Bud agrees with that. But
yeah, I forgot about that guy. You know what I mean? That was a tough fight. Fight. Bud had to turn on. Let's even go as far as saying Sean Porter. He was down on the cards in 10.
This is why I say Madrimov is his toughest fight, in my opinion. Because Bud wasn't able, Bud was reaching in that tool bag, but he couldn't get to them tools fast enough. Against Gamboa, against Mean Machine, whatever tool he wanted to use, he was using it. Whether we agreed with, the aggressive, come forward, all out, I'm going to beat your ass tool that he used against Mean Machine, right? But if y'all remember, Bud's mindset in coming into that fight, he was pissed. He was not getting the fights that we wanted him to get. He was upset at that time with the situation at Top Rank. And he came into that fight throwing all caution to the wind. I'm going to put the pause on him. And that was the tool he used, and he was able to. Now, it opened up opportunities for Mean Machine, but he did what he wanted to do. Against Gamboa, he got mixy with him. We could box, we could scrap, I could bring it to you. He got in that tool bag. Against Mean Machine, I felt like anytime he tried to do something that we normally see Bud do, it was a lot tougher. He still controlled the movement. He kept the fight where he wanted. He didn't allow Madrimov to get off what he wanted to, build off of anything, right? If he had his spots, he had his spots, but he controlled them. But it was hard. He had to keep him in a certain spot for 12 rounds and not let him build up momentum to get downhill and get Bud in tough positions. Bud was not on the ropes. He was sliding off him. He was moving around, but he had to. That's why I say Madrimov was the toughest fight, but that's just my opinion. I was very interested in what you thought. So I was like, name me a guy. But Gamboa, I think he did what he wanted with Gamboa. He got caught a couple times, messing around, but that's because he wanted to. He wanted to show Gamboa oh, you Cuban, you like to scrap, you got a big hook, you got power, so do I. Let's get it. And he won.
So real quick, Money just jumped in. I'm gonna make this kind of like a gauntlet chat real quick.
Let's go, Money.
What up, Money? You gotta turn your mic on. Brought you on board with the squad.
Hey, what's up, Rome? How y'all doing, man?
What's going on, man? What's your thoughts on the convo right now?
Hey, man, to be honest with you, man, every time somebody win a fight, man, they want to throw Terence Crawford's name up. Like, it's not like he's getting they want to see him fight a good fight or something. Like, they keep trying to, if it's another name that come up that they think can beat him, like not even a competitive fight there, they like, oh man, this guy looks so phenomenal in his last fight. I want to see Terence Crawford fight him. I think he can beat Terence Crawford. I think he can, you know, same with across the board. Every time somebody win a phenomenal fight or they beat a top prospect, now they want to see Bud fight that person that just beat who they thought was going to beat Bud. Only fights I want to see Terence Crawford fight is Canelo, Floyd Mayweather, maybe a Pac-Man if he still got some in him. But Crawford earned the right, man. He ain't getting the flowers that he deserved, man. He needs to be able to do whatever you want to do, because as far as accolades is concerned, man, there's nobody in the boxing world with the accolades that Crawford got. You might have the followers, you might have the fan base, but you ain't got the accolades. So
them fights is not happening, bro.
No, real quick, you said Floyd and Pac? They ain't even in their prime.
It don't matter that they not in their prime. It's the fact that when you're talking about legacy fights, man, these dudes is willing to come back.
Money, where you calling in from? Money, I hate to cut you off. Where you calling in from, man?
I'm calling in from Pennsylvania, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Hey. Ooh, 17th and Market, baby. 25th and Market, baby. Yeah, I done stomped around on Market Street a lot. Shout out to Harrisburg.
Yeah. With ASAP Rocky, he said, man, that joint look like The Wire.
let me tell you something before we get back into this boxing. I done worked in a lot of places. Y'all heard me say I lived in Chicago for 2 years. I've been a lot of places. I grew up in Brooklyn. Shout out to Bushwick. I've touched a lot of trenches. Harrisburg is special. Harrisburg is special. Get a little static in Harrisburg.
Now I'm gonna bring Coda in, but I'm gonna let Money finish his thoughts. But I'm bringing you in, Coda. Just let Money finish his perspective.
I'm saying, I appreciate that though. I'm saying though, like when it comes to this boxing stuff, man, all you keep hearing as far as Terence Crawford is the next person that could potentially beat him. It's not like they want. It's like nobody wants to see that man win. They just want to see him lose. It's like this guy beating. It's like, man, the man done showed you something special over the course of his career. Every fight that he gets in, he's the underdog, and he wins in dramatic fashion. So, I mean, Canelo don't want to fight him because he done seen that slick from Floyd, so he don't want to experience that type of slick. But Bud bring a power that Floyd don't got. And if y'all watch that Floyd-Canelo fight, Floyd really could have knocked Canelo out if he just sat down. He just Floyd Mayweather, so he don't want to sit down. But yeah, I would like to see Terence only fight the legacy people that's left, man. Like, that's it for me.
Canelo ain't taking no risk. You see that last fight? Cherry pick.
Yeah, all right. He ain't gonna take no risk. But what I'm saying is Terence is telling us his plan. Like, he has a goal in the plan. And it's like Boots ain't in his plan. You know what I'm saying? This new guy that just knocked out Tim Tszyu, he ain't in the plan. He might get in the plan later on, but these guys were never. My man either trying to unify for the third time, which ain't never been done. He's the first one twice. You undisputed, I'm sorry. I mean, who's left for him to really fight?
Now, real quick, Money, I'm gonna have Coda jump in the conversation. I see you, Chicago Kills. I'm gonna bring you in. It's gonna become ruckus once you come.
Jamel Charlo after his tune-up fight, Jamel Charlo, the original undisputed 154 champion that ain't lost, that went up to and actually fought Canelo Alvarez, and he went the distance, and he didn't go there to fight, he went there to survive, but that was after he felt that power. That was after he felt that he ain't got nothing for Canelo. You know, so now y'all want y'all want Crawford to go up to a 168 and fight Canelo. We done seen Crawford hurt by a Mean Machine. We done seen Crawford hurt by Gamboa. You know, and you want him to go. And you saying Canelo cherry picking, man? I mean, he not fighting Benavidez, but aside from Benavidez,
who else is he to fight aside from Benavidez? Benavidez, who is rehydrating over 25 pounds at 168 pounds. Who else is he to fight aside from Benavidez?
Hold on, real quick. Coda, where you from? When y'all come in the chat, please let us know where y'all from.
I'm from Allentown, Pennsylvania. We in PA, baby. We in PA, baby.
Allentown, shout out to 7th Street.
Yeah, 7th Street. Yeah, we in the building.
Around there too.
For sure.
Around there too. Shout out to Joseph Adorno. Y'all people been hitting me up.
For sure.
We gonna talk, Joe.
For sure.
All right.
If I can say something real quick, I just want to say. If I can say something real quick, I just want to say, getting hurt in boxing does not mean you not warranted the fight. That's boxing. Everybody get hurt. That's part of the game. What you're supposed to be saying when someone gets hurt, you're supposed to be saying, look at the heart of that champion. Look at the chin of that champion. Look at the body of that champion. So when Bud or Keith Thurman, they get hurt, yes, they get hurt, but they show the heart of a champion and come back and finish the fight in dramatic fashion. That's what you're supposed to say when someone gets hurt. They've been challenged and they come back and they do their numbers.
That's the beautiful thing to say.
You're not supposed to say somebody don't deserve a fight because they got hurt.
You got to bring those aspects up, though, when he's going up to fight the undisputed super middleweight champion. You got to bring those aspects up, though. You know, he got hurt by a super lightweight, and he's going up to super middleweight to fight Canelo Alvarez, the reigning undisputed champion.
You didn't say when Floyd got hurt by. You didn't say when Floyd got hurt by Sugar Shane Mosley. He don't deserve a Canelo fight.
But he fought Canelo and he beat Canelo ass though. And Canelo wasn't he was 23 years old. He wasn't a matter of fact. Canelo came in 16 pounds overweight.
18, you a man. Once you stop in that square circle, you a man. Age don't got nothing to do with it.
All right, you are absolutely right. He came in 16 pounds overweight.
My boy John. I'm gonna have John. John's been biting his tongue.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No,
don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. We love it. Just give it.
No, this is the whole aspect of this whole show. I'm gonna get John to speak, and I'm gonna let everyone know real quick. I'm gonna bring a firecracker in. As long as Chicago cool and everyone keeps it just simply boxing, Chicago will come in and it's gonna get fired. So. Kind of started all this. John,
Chicago called Butter goofy. I would love to talk to him.
Listen, man, shout out to the Canelo fans. They loyal, boy. They got a excuse for everything. First of all, rehydration is a part of boxing. Stop right there.
I'm not a Canelo fan. I'm really not.
That's not an excuse for him not to fight Benavidez. Now, I would respect it more if you came in and said, listen, Canelo at the end of his career, he paid his dues. He picking who you want to pick. But don't start making excuses for people. You get what I'm saying? He the next man up. He the mandatory. That's your mandatory. It's either you want to fight mandatory or you gonna keep it pushing, right? Let's not do that. And then you talking about Crawford got hurt at a lower weight class. That was his weight class. It was both fighting at the same weight class. You get hurt, you get hurt. That's boxing. That man did it. That man did a 7-8 month training camp just like Bud did. It's a fight at the end of the day. You get hurt, like Money said, it's how you finish. How you finish. And a lot of people say Canelo lost that first Triple G fight. We ain't gonna
He did.
You know what I mean? What I'm saying is don't make excuses for that man. You know what I mean? If he's not taking his mandatories, if he's not fighting who's next up, just say, yo. But let's respectfully, back to the cherry pick. Last homie he fought, that was a cherry pick. Son was getting dropped left and right. Son was getting dropped in sparring. We already knew. The question was, how was Canelo going to beat him? That was the question. It was never if this dude was going to win. My man was already hyped just because he got the fight. He didn't even have a determination to win. My man was just happy to be at the party. Facts. I'm going to leave it like that, bro. Canelo,
now, if you knew me, you wouldn't even say, like, Canelo fans, because I'll be on Canelo ass. It's just the topic, excuse my language, it's just the topic was Crawford coming up from 154 pounds to go up to fight Canelo, and I'm going to also give Canelo his respect. I'm not a Canelo fan. Trust me, I'll be on his ass about Benavidez, bro. Like, I swear, I'm on Mill City, on all these podcasts. I'll be on all the time. But if we're going to talk real, like, Crawford coming up, you know, versus Madrimov, he didn't have, like, you know, a field day. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have a field day. So I just that's why I was saying that. It wasn't because I be defending Canelo now, bro. Like I be just like you, bro. I be saying the same exact thing. Yo, listen, he been the mandatory for 4 years. He been the interim champion for 4 years, the WBC. You know what I'm saying? He's been your mandatory, like you ducking him, this and that, or whatever the case would be. I'll be the same way, bro. You know what I'm saying? I just said that because of the fact that people really think Crawford gonna go up there. And I'm a Crawford fan, but bro, like it's weight classes for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Roy Jones went up to heavyweight and we saw what happened. Kell Brook went up to fight GGG and we saw what happened. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like it's weight classes for a reason. Canelo is I feel like it's too disrespected in that aspect.
All right, I'm gonna bring in Chicago.
And I'm sorry. Let me jump in real quick if you don't mind.
No worries. Money.
Like my man, like the arguments that you be using, you got to think about this. How many fighters has Terence Crawford fought in that division? You name Kell Brook, Amir Khan. Is that it?
Kell Brook was beating him all 5 rounds up until he stopped. He got stopped. It was 5 rounds for nothing.
It don't matter what he was. It don't matter what he was doing. He went out on his back pocket though. He went out on his back pocket.
That eye injury is a motherfucker for sure.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
All I'm saying, and just we see this every day outside. It is boxing though. It is a sport though. But we see this outside all the time. You see a guy that's $150 knock out a guy that's 180 or 200 pounds at the bar all the time.
For sure.
So Bud knows something that like you're talking. You're not just talking like Bud might be like the last of a grown man in the sport though. Like he's a grown man. A lot of these dudes is still kids. They posture, they body language ain't that of a grown man. And I'm talking about men. Like we men sitting here, we know when a man is a dominant man. You're looking at a dominant dude out here, man. Y'all said Earl Spence was going to do this and that to him, and Earl Spence was lined up for the Canelo fight just off of buys, potentials. The potential of the pay-per-view selling of the fight. Come on, man. Bud just went in there and just tossed that man all around the ring like he was 120-pounder, man.
Well, that's assuming that I said that about Spence, and that's assuming that I thought Earl Spence would last a chance with Canelo Alvarez.
I gotta bring Chicago in real quick. All right, Chicago, are you here?
What's up, gangsters? We keep killer.
What's going on?
Hey, Kevin, you said you live in what? Holland, South Halsted, Harvey. I mean, that's cool, man, but you ain't in the hood, baby.
What?
I said you ain't in the hood.
Hold on. 111 South Austin out the hood. You need to check the map, brother. That's the Wild Hunters, baby.
100, the Wild Hunters, 103rd, and Cottage Grove. That's the hood.
All right, let's switch to real quick.
I mean, no, man, but look. See, me,
let's go boxing, Chicago. Let's keep it strictly boxing.
I'm from Little Village, 26th Street, 26. But all right, so look.
Okay, Little Village. Shout out to Little Village.
You gangbang, Kevin? You gangbang or not?
Hey,
I look like
Chicago.
Chicago. Tripping, bro.
Chicago. Give one warning. Keep it boxing. One warning.
Okay.
Keep it boxing, all right?
What's the topic?
Hey, boxing, brother. Boxing.
All boxing.
For sure.
All right.
What's the topic, Crawford?
All about the Terence. You wanted Terence and Tszyu, right?
Okay. Yeah. All right. Look. On a strict boxing.
Hold on. There's boxing question. Why is Crawford a goofy? I need to know.
The way he acts, bro. The way he acts. I mean, look, man. He already got shot in the dome. You know what I mean? He ain't the shooter. He's the one getting shot. So he needs to watch out and be careful, man, because that's some goofy shit. He's getting shot in the head. Yeah, he survived, but I know guys who got shot in the head, they survived, and they ain't all there, bro. So I don't think he can afford. I don't think he can afford to take any Canelo punches to the dome piece. If you know what I'm saying. But he acting like he's untouchable, man. But this is fighting, bro. This is He's talking about he wants to fight McGregor. He's talking about he's wrestling. He's back on the mat. I mean, I don't know what he wants to do, where he's going. I just feel like he wants to get the money, right? And right now, the money is fighting Tszyu. Turkey Al-Ashiki, bro. That dude is going to pay Crawford to fight whoever he wants to fight. And if he picks Tszyu to beat his ass for Tszyu coming with some racist stuff, then, man, beat his ass. Let everybody see it.
How is Tszyu the money, though? He was complaining about making $1 million with Josh Taylor. How is he the money, bro? He just fought Steve Claggett and struggled with him. How is he the money, bro? Nah, I think you tripping, right? I think you be on Punch Drunk Boxing, too. That's my man, too. I be chilling with Punch. You know what I'm saying, bro?
Crawford struggled with Gamboa. Gamboa made him do the stinky
But how long ago was that?
Exactly, and Gamboa gets dropped and beat up all the time, though.
Chicago, you really think he struggled with Gamboa? Like I was telling John.
Yeah.
You think he struggled, or
he struggled with Porter?
He got into a scrap. He said, "You want scrap? Let's scrap." And he beat him.
He struggled with Benavidez. Look,
and he stopped him. He didn't struggle with Benavidez.
All his fights, he struggled until the end, and then he stopped him. But he struggled. He had
Chicago,
he had to fight, bro.
I love your perspectives. I'll tell you that. Keep going.
How old are you, Kevin? How old are you?
I'm 36.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm 6 years older than you, man. When I was 14, you know, banging out women and stuff, you was like years old, bro. But look, all I'm trying to say is that Crawford, he's a good fighter. He's strong. At 147, he was the best, but we don't know that. He never fought Keith Thurman. He ain't never fought Keith Thurman.
I would have loved to see that fight.
Keith Thurman can't even stay healthy to have a fight. I mean,
but when he is healthy, Keith Thurman was smashing everybody. Spence didn't want to fight Keith Thurman.
He got hurt by Mario Barrios.
And look, when you really think about it, and look at Barrios is a champ now at 47. So I mean that fight aged really good. But when you really think about it, bro, the people that Crawford beat were already washed up. We want to see Crawford fight somebody in their prime. You know what I mean? Because Crawford's in his prime right now. We want to see him fight some young prime people who are strong, tough, haven't been through no car accidents, haven't been knocked out or been knocked down and things like that, bro, or getting their over the bone broke 3 times. We want to see him fight some real people. And 54 is a deep division. So if he fights Bakhram, if he fights Teofimo Lopez, Turkey Al-Ashik is going to give him the bag. He just wants to see him fight. He got the bag with Majidov. Majidov wasn't no seller, but Turkey Al-Ashik is backing Crawford. So whoever Crawford fights, he's going to get a bag.
What are you going to say, John? Oh, I see you over there, John.
Yeah, so, man, bro, I got bro, that's crazy how you think like that, bro, but let me respond to that. Yeah, that's crazy to me, son. First of all, you keep saying Tszyu. Tszyu not even at 54. So I don't even know why, this is a real conversation. And I don't think I think we will all nobody will be surprised if they fought and Crawford demolished him. Nobody on this panel will be surprised. It's expected at this point, right? So it's again, I don't know why this man's name keep coming up in the hat when it's even if Crawford beat him, he's not going to get the credit for beating him. It's going to be oh, yeah, that's Tszyu. He's supposed to. And then you said you hate that Crawford be doing all this, and that's Tsz유's persona. Tszyu is always in front of the camera talking shit on a regular basis. Tszyu live with the camera in his face. And then what y'all classify him trying to sell a fight, him trying to get a fight. Oh, if anything, Crawford one of the realest in boxing. My son don't talk shit to nobody. He keep the same energy when he see you, and he always on time.
That's goofy shit in Chicago, bro. That's goofy.
Not with boots.
That's goofy, bro.
Not with boots.
That's people in Chicago call him goofy for
acting
like that, bro.
Chicago
call him
kills.
Goofy for acting like that.
Real quick, John.
Chicago kills. You
got a camera? You got a camera player? Turn it on. We want to see you.
Yeah, son.
Bro, man, y'all are some gay shit. What the hell? Y'all saw some Diddy shit?
Yeah. Oh man, no Diddy.
Y'all the one who want to see me, man.
Yeah. You talking behind the curtain? Pull the curtain.
Nobody wants to see. Yeah.
Hey, yo, can I jump in real quick?
Yeah, go ahead, Money.
I wanna respond to my man. Like, Terence Crawford is everything that Floyd Mayweather is not. So when Floyd Mayweather was stunting and fronting and styling and stuff, y'all was saying, oh, y'all ain't like him because he was too flashy and all that. And then here you got a dude like Crawford that's loyal to the everyday person, to the I can say the street, whatever. He got all these young boys up under his tutelage that he's mentoring, giving the game to, giving back. He's raising champions, man. Crawford show a type of love that across the board that is unmatched by anybody in the game. He got Devin Haney. He got Keyshawn Johnson. I mean, what's Keyshawn Davis? He got man, he got a bunch of champions up under him Shakur, that he's giving game to while he's still in the game. He got his family. He's at his family event. Like, man, that speak on my man's character. Let me give me 1 second. To speak on my man is the proof is in the pudding. He just had a parade in this town. He got a center built, a multi-million-dollar center built for the kids to come train, to get them off the street, to not go through what he went through.
So why
like, come on, man, you don't know nobody in the.
Why you act like he's on the block?
Give me 1 second.
People don't like that shit. If you're on the block, you're on the block.
You can't tell a dude
Chicago, and I'll let you rebuttal.
All right, for sure.
You can't name a dude that made it out of the street and give back the way that my man is doing. Not an athlete, and especially while they're still in the game. So that was just about his character. You got to give my man his flowers on his character, man. Or you not a real dude outside. You ain't never been through nothing. My man, as far as that's concerned, is top notch. Now, as far as the boxing, I would have loved to see that Keith Thurman fight too, because one time was really that deal. He was really, really that deal. And maybe if he doesn't lose to Manny, he should have had Manny take a steroid test, to be honest with you. But just being greedy wasn't that fight. He ain't go through the proper protocols like Floyd did with Manny. Yeah, you got to do that VADA testing, because we know Manny done tested positive for that stuff before. So I would have loved to see that fight. I still love to see that fight because Keith got the skills. But the rest of these little dudes, this is what boxing has always been. Once you reach a certain level of your career of boxing, you're not fighting prospects, man. We're only fighting champions. And to say that these people that he fought is over the hill, 1 loss, 2 losses does not make you over the hill and incapable of performing in the sport that you play. That's I'm gonna take a break now.
Okay, now Chicago, I'll let you rebuttal, and then I'll do a round table kind of rebuttal.
Okay.
We could be here all day, so I'm gonna do a little quick little wrap up. Chicago, I'll let you rebuttal the Money, and then I'll do everyone gets their last words before we head out.
All right, cool. So so kind of about the whole street. How long has Crawford been in boxing? Do you know, Ron? Like how many years?
I mean, he's 37.
Since he was a kid.
I would assume maybe
Since he was
almost
a kid.
30 years. Almost,
So,
it has to be about 30.
All right, I'm glad you said that since he was a kid. So I don't think Crawford was ever in the streets, bro. I don't think he was out there gangbanging, selling drugs, robbing people, kidnapping people, shooting people. He got shot, bro.
Come on, man. He met Sean Porter's dad in the alley and said,
He's not in the game, bro. He ain't in the game.
He got shot at the gambling spot on the corner, man, because he was rolling dice.
Corner,
like, what are you
who the
talking
fuck
about?
Who does that shit? I mean, look, bro, I'm Mexican, bro. We don't do that stupid shit. We get money and we gangbang, bro, but we do it the right way in Chicago. But look, what I'm saying is all the people he fought, they already retired right after the fight. They was already washed up. They were done. Their careers were done. Crawford took advantage of it. He cherry-picked it. But to be honest, there was nobody else to fight. So
the man became a champion on a short notice call. He was a replacement call when he became the champ. Like, what are you talking about?
Nowadays, you don't got no fighters that are worth a damn. So the fighters that are champions, like Teofimo Lopez, why not fight Teo? Why not? They're the same size, bro.
Why don't Teo fight Tank?
They're the same.
Why don't Teo fight
Teo? Teo don't want to fight Teo. Take's fighting the roach, the cockroach. But look, and Lamont Roach, he ain't no joke neither. He's good, so that's gonna be a good fight. I like that fight. But everybody knows Take don't care about legacy. Take cares about money. But look,
why don't Teo fight Shakur?
Who is Shakur? Bro, don't make me laugh. Shakur got a broken hand from hitting somebody in the body. He broke his own hand on somebody's rib. Shakur's weak. Shakur's weak, bro. Devin and Shakur are the weakest out of that generation. It's Ryan, Teo, and Tank. Those Shakur and Devin Haney, they're weak as hell. So look, but why don't he fight a real champ, somebody who's young? Teo and Crawford are the same size, bro. Same size. Why not fight him? Teo has earned his way. What is he, a 2-division lineal champion? I don't know if y'all know this one dude. What's his name? He's in Crawford's camp. He be talking a lot of shit. Skinny black dude. I forgot his name. You know his name? Bernie. Bernie the boxer.
Bernie, I can't.
Lame ass Bernie. First, Bernie was all like, yeah, you got the lineal belts, you know, you the shit. The lineal belts matter. Teo got 2 of them. But Bernie's talking shit about Teo that Teo don't deserve it. I think that they're scared, bro. They are scared of
Bro,
Teo.
scared of what? He just fought Steve Claggett and struggled, bro. Like, I can't. I don't understand where that come from.
Real quick, I gotta bring my boy Greg in here. Man.
I just don't understand where that come from. Yo, G, let these niggas something, bro. Yo, G, let these niggas dolly wallet, bro.
I thought you was gonna fight Southpaw. Southpaw wants to beat you up, Greg.
Yo, Southpaw don't want no smoke with G, man.
Hey, Chicago's gonna come to Philly, bro. We're gonna blow Philly up, bro.
Hold on, yo, Greg, don't blow
he don't want no smoke with Southpaw. He don't want no smoke with Southpaw. Why? Hey, answer me this, Craig. Why didn't you meet up Southpaw?
Southpaw sent an address on a block. A random address. He didn't want to send his gym address.
He didn't want to.
We was all pulling up over there, bro.
To where? Chicago?
Understand that I'm in Allentown. I'm right next to Philly. We would have pulled up over there, bro.
Come on, bro. Don't let me laugh at you, bro. You look like P&J Rock, bro, who got killed. Chill.
He looked like me.
All right, real quick. I'm gonna give the floor to my boy Greg. You know, I was gonna close the stream up real soon, but I had to let you in.
What's going on?
I mean, you know, I gotta get your insight on this whole Bakhram stopping Tim. Should Terence fight him? I mean.
That'd be a great fight for Terence Crawford. I mean, he is that level. You know what I mean? And Bakhram, everybody's speaking about Bakhram now because of what he did to Tim Tszyu, but that's what happens in boxing when you take fights. You know what I mean? Of course, we ain't know much about him, but from what I see, up and down style, got a great jab, got a great right hand, got a great hook. And that's all you need in boxing is the good basics. If you got good basics, you can make some things happen. But, of course, Terence Crawford isn't Tim Tszyu. Terence Crawford comes with a lot more elements than Tim Tszyu. So I think he would give Bakhram a world of trouble. Just behind his jab alone, take some time to break him down, stab him to the body, things like that. You know, work him out till he gets to about the 9th, 10th round and probably get him out. Because Bakhram got caught with some shots, too, that he felt. You know what I'm saying? But he stayed determined and he stayed on the mission. But I don't think Bakhram can beat Terence Crawford.
Let's see it. Let's see him fight.
Yeah, that's a great fight.
Greg, let me ask you something. You hear me?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, I see you out there training with boots too, man. Keep him away from Crawford, man. Don't do that.
I mean, listen, that's the best fight in boxing to make. You know what I mean? If that fight happens, shit, everybody gonna be excited about that. So why keep him away?
listen. I feel like Boots got to gain some more momentum, bro. He got the, and I don't want to compare them, right? But it's kind of like it reminds me of like Devin Haney. Like you crowned him before he got there. You get what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you.
Build it up. Give Crawford like something he can't duck away from. You feel me? Gain a few more belts.
But this is what you got to remember, right? No matter who Boots beat, people gonna always say, "But that ain't Crawford. But that ain't Crawford." You know what I'm saying?
Same thing with Crawford with Spence.
So look, with Crawford being 37 years old, how much time he got?
When you the A side, you take the fight, right?
Bro, he fought Madrimov instead of. I mean,
That Madrimov was a champion at 54.
10 fights.
Hey, Craig, fucking. Let me ask you a question.
Greg, I want to ask you, if you could, and this for everybody, if you can write out the rest of Crawford's career, what you want to see?
I say give him what he want, give him Canelo, and whatever after that. You know what I mean? You fight Canelo, that's the cream of the crop. That's the best in boxing as far as ticket sales, as far as fame. You know what I'm saying? That's the best in the game. So get a man what he want. He earned it.
Good answer. Hey, Craig, quick question to Chicago. This is a Philadelphia question. Blair Cobbs, you train with Ennis. Why don't you tell Ennis to fight Blair Cobbs? Let's see that fight. That's a moneymaker. That's the who's gonna take Philly. Blair Cobbs got a great story. I know everybody's laughing, but hey, Blair's gonna come up.
Boots' mission is the belts. You know what I mean? So right now, Blair Cobb, that wouldn't make sense.
So after he takes care of Karen, he's gonna fight? Who's he looking to gun for? Who's he gunning for? Oh, he's at 47, right?
No, I said his mission. His mission is the belts. If he can't get the belts, I think he's gonna go up.
But so he's looking to unify at 47?
If he can.
Yeah. Okay. I think he
Hey,
could.
that's the first thing. That's the first thing Chicago said that I could get all the way with. Greg, this is my thought process on that, right? Of course, we want to see Boots unify, but we also want to see him establish his name a little bit more. I don't think he's fought a guy yet that's allowed him to do that. Blair having that Adrian Broner momentum, why not just take that fight if it's available to him? Give the fans an exciting name versus name, Philly versus Philly, Wells Fargo Center. Why not?
Because right after that, they gonna be like, oh, who's Blair Cobbs? Who Blair Cosby? Oh, Adrian Broner. It's gonna be the same thing. It's gonna be the same excuses, brother. I know what Greg's finna say.
Everybody knows Blair Cobbs.
Well, I know too. I know Greg well. Hold on though. Before he answers it though, this is what I would say to you, Coda. That's all good and dandy, and you're not wrong. But what other name has he fought that would give him his conversation? It grows, it perpetuates the Boots thing, right? Why not?
Hey, Keith Thurman could have fought him. Why not Keith Thurman? Why they don't put the pressure on them? Why Keith Thurman don't fight him? Why?
Hold on, Coda. Coda, stay right there. I'm with you. Let him answer that. Greg, you right next to him. Why not?
All right, go ahead.
No, I don't handle the man business in my world.
No, I know, but you with him.
In my world though, fight whoever the fuck they put in there. You know what I mean? Because you got to get ready. You know what I'm saying? So fight whoever they put in there. So if it's Blair Cobb, it's Blair Cobb. If it's Barrios, it's Barrios. If it's Norman Jr., it's Norman Jr. You know what I mean? Stanionis is Stanionis. That's how I see it.
Hey, Craig.
I ain't gonna lie. I like the Blair fight.
Real quick.
What was the thinking behind him rematching Kerry?
Fight ain't happened.
Can I jump in real quick?
He will obliterate Blair Cobbs, bro. He will violate that man. Like
that's the whole point. That's the whole point of the fight.
I don't. Coda. I don't think you're wrong. I think that's beside the point, though. I think the point is we want to see Boots grow, right? Look what happened to Terence. He got iced for years.
Exactly.
And that's why some of y'all come on here and say who he fought. Not saying that anybody, particularly in this chat, maybe Chicago, but we'll say who he fought. He fought a lot of dudes, but he never got the name. That's why we say that.
But we got to be fair real quick, right? We got to be fair. We got to act like, first of all, we got to understand this Hollywood shit. Boxing is part of Hollywood. It's entertainment, right? The way they running this shit. This shit is like a beauty pageant now. You know what I'm saying? If these guys was all fighting tough fights or fighting good fights, a lot of these guys we wouldn't even be talking about. You know what I mean? To be honest, a lot of these guys, they are on the platform they're on just because they can sell. You know what I mean? If we be real. So it's like Bud wasn't a guy they felt like they could sell because one, he come from a city that's not even known for boxing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, damn, can we take him home? But then they took him home once, but he did a good job, but it was just like, he from Omaha, you know what I mean? It was like, how can we sell this guy? If it was football, it'd be different, but it's boxing. So they just didn't have a lane for Bud. So Bud just had to keep beating ass, you know what I mean? He really came up the tough way, and it was going to be that way regardless of the fact because he's from Omaha, and he a black man.
So why don't you tell him to fight Tio? And Omaha ain't even the street.
Hey yo,
let me jump in real quick.
That people even put those names together to me. That's
money. What do you want to say? Money's been well reserved. Real quick. You want to ask Greg something, or you want?
Hey, Greg. Hey, Greg. It's a pleasure to meet you, man.
My guy.
Like your content, follow your channel. It's a pleasure to meet you. Hey, yo. Boots is the truth, man, and it's a lot of dudes dodging him. But one thing about the boxing game is that when you get to a certain level, you only want to fight people at your level. This is what's been going on in everybody's career. So as Boots might want to fight Bud, just think about when Keith Thurman and Terence Crawford was trying to fight Floyd and Manny Pacquiao. They wasn't trying to fight them dudes.
So what?
And not because they scared, man. You don't get in the ring. You don't put that tape on your hand. You don't put them gloves on your hand because you're scared. No, nobody's scared in that sport, man. That's like saying that when Ray Lewis puts on his pads, he don't want to hit Henry because he's scared. Nah, man, you don't dress up and play sports, man, to be scared. You're not scared. But I will say the path that they're on, Bud is like 10 years in his career past Boots, so it's not that he's avoiding him. It's just not, his accolades don't match.
Floyd fought Canelo. Floyd fought Canelo. He was 30. He was what, 13 years old. Floyd fought Canelo.
Floyd, hold on, Chi-Town. Floyd fought Canelo based off of the money, man. Canelo got a country that's going to go buy his tickets. You only have a certain amount of black people that's going to buy Floyd's tickets, man.
I remember that fight like it was yesterday, bro.
The only people trying to see Floyd box is black people and real boxing fans. So the numbers just don't add up. And y'all don't know when somebody go buys a ticket, you don't know who the hell that person bought a ticket to see. You don't know whose fan is who. You just know it's that many million or how many people is watching the fight. You don't know who if I bought a Crawford ticket, you don't know if I bought it to see Ennis or Crawford, man. So don't y'all keep talking this goofy stuff, man. The bottom line is listen, there's nobody for Crawford to fight but the people that's on Crawford's level. As far as accolades, man, y'all keep talking about talent and y'all just want to see him fight. Y'all just want to line up somebody this guy looks good. He just knocked out Tim Tszyu. Oh, I think he can knock Crawford out. Every time my man get another fight, y'all just want to see him lose, man. Y'all ain't seen this type of greatness in years, man. You got to get this man his flowers. His conduct is superb. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think it's not to see him lose. It's just we are fans of the sport.
Every time somebody
that's not
wins,
how I feel. I love Crawford. I love watching him display his talent. It's just I feel like we fans of the sport, and we and the hardcore fans know talent per the eye test. So I think Boots so you saying Floyd fought Canelo because of the money. All right, so what Crawford fight? Crawford was saying the same thing. Oh, he wants money. He wants big money fights now. Big money. He said he'd go down to 147 to fight Tank, but not fight Boots because of money, right? So what other fight right now is bigger than a Boots versus Crawford fight? Boots is trending real good, bro.
So y'all don't know when the person talk. Y'all don't know when the person talking shit and when the person is serious.
I just
don't know when the person talking shit and when the person is serious.
I'm just saying, bro.
My answer is you don't know that. I'm telling you. Let me tell you the answer though. You can't tell when a person is talking shit. Some people talk shit, man. But even if he did, look, like, all I'm saying is this though: the bull is 2-time the first, mind you, 2-time undisputed.
He could
He's
have been
trying to fight.
3-time undisputed if he would have fought Boots and beat him for the IBF. He could have been 3-time undisputed.
Why would he that? Like, that was corny,
Why would he
bro.
fight? Why would he fight
wants to be
Madrimov?
two-time?
What
Who
type
wants
of
to
stain
be
does
two-time
Madrimov put on him?
undisputed in the same? Who wants to be 2-time undisputed in the division they're already undisputed in? That
That don't
doesn't
make
make
sense.
sense,
That's
man.
accolades. That don't make no sense. That's accolades. You just beat
He
a Boots.
already done
So
that.
it's like when Floyd beat Canelo, right? Look at Canelo, how he went about his career. So that put a lot on that win for Floyd, and he spanked him. So that put a lot on that win for Floyd. So it's the same thing if Crawford beats Boots, and then Boots goes on to be undisputed at any weight class or whatever. If he becomes to be a great fighter, that's gonna put a lot on that win for Crawford. So it's the same thing, bro. Fighting Madrimov didn't do more. I think if he'd have fought Boots and beat him, I feel like if he'd have fought Boots and beat him, it'd have done more for his career than Madrimov. I feel, in my opinion, that's just my opinion.
Wow.
All right, real quick.
How does
we could be here all day. We can be all.
I got all day too. I just got off work.
No, I ain't got all day. I ain't got all day. But I would appreciate Greg, of course, just jumping on. Just showing some love. I know
that
you
was
guys
love.
have seen him. He's been someone that I got a pleasure of meeting a long time ago. So I appreciate him just randomly popping in, talking with you guys. And like I said, the whole point of this is, obviously create respectful debates. And you guys all debated, and and also for you guys to get to know me, meet Kevin, who was at the fight.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And just create a community. And we debate hostilely but fairly, right?
For sure.
But at the same time, leave it at that. Create a community. Because at the end of the day, it's Sunday. There's football going on, and we're boxing fans. We're all here talking boxing.
Giants Eagles is playing right now, and I'm missing it.
Yeah, my Eagles finna bust that.
You're here for a better cause.
Get out of here! Get out of here with that shit.
Yo, Kev, yo, listen, I'm gonna holler at y'all. All right,
It's all good. Don't worry.
All right, man.
Hey, but I appreciate everyone, Coda, John, Money, Greg. I look like I got a last dude just snuck in real quick. We about to head out, but I'll give you the floor for about 2 minutes because you jumped in. Oh, NHA. I was going to bring you in. NHA, I was going to bring you in for like 2 minutes. But every Sunday, I'm going to have a recap show. So the show is going to grow. I know these are like hidden streams that we don't do pretty often, but it's going to be consistent. So you can set your time. I'll bring you guys to debate amongst each other as long as respect. I appreciate Chicago Kills for bringing a lot of the fire. Coda, Money, Greg, Kevin, thanks for jumping on back-to-back days and bringing us good content. I had Boxeo. There was a lot of guys that jumped on earlier. Supreme Boxing. So NHA2. No, I appreciate you. So Kevin, last minute thoughts on this whole entire thing.
Well, first things first, like Ron told y'all, make sure y'all join. I thought this was great. I love having the fans on. I love sharing y'all opinion. We might not always agree, but that don't matter. That's life. That's life. I think being able to speak about things respectfully is something that, not to get all deep, but is missing in our society. It's the truth. People don't know how to have a talk when they just, or a conversation when they differ, right? A lot of times they got to go crazy or left or, whatever. Even Chicago Kills. I didn't agree with everything he said, but I appreciated him, articulating himself, sharing whatever his view process was. And just being able to talk about it. We can talk about anything. We don't got to agree, though. That's the human in us. So I thought it was dope. Please continue to tune in. Ron, I'd be honored to be on any show you got. You could always let me know. I'll jump on. I thought it was a great fight. I think Americans, we need to do better. We need to do more research. We need to stop discrediting foreign fighters just because we never heard of them, right? We got a great fight from Bakhram. I absolutely would love to see Terence fight him. I think it'd be a great fight. If Terence would want that, if he's not able to get the Canelo fight, why not? Let's get him in the ring twice next year. 154 is heating up. And other than that, I'll just say, y'all can find me on Instagram, mainly at the Puerto Rican Kid KG. Feel free to follow. I got tons of content. I mean, I'm cooking every day for y'all, so y'all can stay in tune and come back to Fight Hype and watch those full interviews. I'll give y'all some little snippets so y'all know what's up. A lot of segments that we're working on here on Fight Hype. I've got a segment called No Holds Barred. We've gone through 4 episodes in the last 2 weeks. We've been pretty active, and I've got like 4 more lined up this month. So very busy. Rock with us. Fight Hype is the busiest. The busiest. Go look at it. Go look. Open your YouTube up and tell me who is the busiest channel in boxing. Has been and will continue to be. And that's Fight Hype. And we out here. We cooking. We're bringing you everything live. We're at almost every event that you can think of. And we appreciate y'all support. That's all I got, Ron.
Yeah, and I'll just end it quick and easy, just piggybacking. Like, look, there's a lot of boxing podcasts out there, which I'm cool with. There's a lot of boxing channels, with there should be, because we need to grow. So this is not to down any other channel, or it's not speaking negative about any channel. But to add value to what I'm saying is that we actually have legitimate insight. We're at the events. We talk to the fighters. We go to the gyms. We actually have a little bit. I'm gonna be nice with the words. A little bit more insight when it comes to a lot of the boxing stuff. And if we don't know, we bring other people on. And if not, we have the best fans that have the insight. I brought some guys on here, and there was a caller that came in. I think it was Supreme Boxing, and he had a whole blueprint of everything about Bakhram. I knew all this stuff and broke it all down. So if we aren't informed, then the fans are the most informed, and that's what the whole platform is. We're supposed to bring our knowledge, you guys collaborate, and we just have a really good platform. And it's really cool because we get to play the interviews and show you the interviews that everyone's watched. Everyone's watched these interviews and talk about their philosophies based off the stuff that we get. And that's kind of what I want to bridge in. It's a hybrid of live streaming and podcasting, and we're gonna bring in
every channel. I was just gonna say, no, I was just gonna say, if you're online today, you're probably seeing Tim Tszyu give you his thoughts after that fight. That is a Fight Hype video. It is saturating the net, and that's cool. We got to get Tim's words out there, but understand that starts with Fight Hype, and we continue. We're gonna, we plan to continue that, right? We're gonna bring it to you first every time. So for sure.
Yeah, and you get the opportunity to talk to the guys to ask, like, what did you see behind the scenes? So this is kind of like the behind the scenes where after you watch the content for the week, then you can give your opinions and then ask more insight. Like, okay, what'd you see? Blah, blah, blah. Like, there's no other place that you can really get that type of ability, that close, that access. And sometimes fighters are reserved. They're not going to tell you everything. But we're gonna have people everywhere, like you've always had. So, my camera's been on for so long, it's hot. So it's so. What up, Attorney Bailey? I got a shout out, my boy Attorney Bailey in the chat.
Shout out, Attorney Bailey.
Yeah, appreciate everyone contributing. Salute y'all. Appreciate y'all having me on the panel. Yeah, so
Minnesota Mick. Shout out to Minnesota Mick. Appreciate the love.
Of course, he's been shouting you guys out. So even if you guys are in the chat, you guys are huge. You guys contribute a lot to the engagement, and the people who do want to be on camera, jump on or on a call. That's what I'm creating this platform for, on the platform, and then we'll just go from there. And we'll bring on boxers and other guests, and check out Kevin's No Hold Barred, and we'll keep going. So, all right.
Yeah, shout out to those fans that we know on a first name basis. Like, we need a lot more of those, and we appreciate y'all. Mr. Quake, Attorney Bailey, Minnesota Mick, the Angry Casual. These are people that support us, and we appreciate that support. We appreciate your perspectives, even if they don't align with ours. Keep joining. I want to know more of you by name. That's dope.
Yeah, and so we're going to do this segment pretty much 5 to 6 times a week, and if I'm not at a fight, that's what you can expect. If I am at a fight, it'll be kind of a hybrid, but we'll keep the content going. So appreciate you guys. Thanks, Kev. Like I said, this is running a lot longer than anticipated. Darius Red, I see you jump in. I'm gonna have to push you into the next live, just because we about to sign off. But jump in the next live. I promise I'll get you on NHA. I'll get you on. We've been on here cooking for about, how long have we been on for? I think about almost 2 hours. So So Darius, I'll bring you back. Just come in the next live. I promise I'll get you in. All right, man. All right, y'all. And what's your channel's name? Kevin NH2 was asking, what's your Instagram?
Yeah, please follow me on Instagram. I'm telling you, look, cooking every day. I've got content lined up every day for the next like 2 weeks. Trust me, insights that you're not getting from anybody else, exclusives, dope edits. I got it for you. I'm serving that product. Come get it. And you can find me at the Puerto Rican Kid KG, the Puerto Rican Kid KG. Follow me. I appreciate the support for sure. FightHype, we in the building.
And for everyone, it says when's the next live? I'm gonna set it up
Ron,
tomorrow.
Love y'all. Love everybody. I gotta hop out. I appreciate you, Ron.
All right, peace.
Yo.
To answer that question, let me switch this up. Boom. All right, dope. Sorry, let me mute this real quick. To answer that question, the next live, I think I'm gonna put the next live probably tomorrow. Let's chat now. What? Yeah, dude, I'm a father. I got to do father things. So, and I got a girl. I got to go help her with stuff. So, I'm expecting to do a live tomorrow. I don't know what the topic is. So just this is what I want you guys to do. Keep a lookout for tomorrow or even maybe tonight, depending. It's going to have a scheduled podcast every day when I can create one. It's going to have a scheduled podcast. Just hit notify me and you'll see it. And just routinely, you'll see this. I'll have a link. I'll do my little spill. I'll talk a little bit. And then we'll start doing calls in, bring you guys in. You know, what up, Southpaw? What's going on? Appreciate you showing some love. You know, it's a Sunday. We gotta do some boxing stuff, and then gotta go back and do father duties. You know what I mean? Can't be obsessed with boxing all the time. But I appreciate you coming in and showing some love. Appreciate everyone coming in and showing love. You know, and I respect everyone who has an honest opinion. It's okay. Have an opinion. Don't be shy. You know what I mean? Being politically correct all the time can be a little boring. So, but stay grounded, family first. Congrats on my son. Yeah, I appreciate it. Appreciate you guys. So, thanks for the show, man. Appreciate you guys coming in, really rocking, and support other people's channels that come in. Support other people. We just gotta continue to cover the sport we love. Everyone has their own flavor and spin on it. So, all right, you guys take care. Appreciate it. As always, love.